Thank you for joining us at Beer Fish Fanatics. And this episode is actually brought to you by Whisker Secret Tackle.
So make sure you guys go to whiskersecret.com for all your catfishing gear.
Enjoy the episode, guys.
I'd like to try a little bit more for the wipers this year. I honestly just don't fish a lot. It's just because of the pressure.
Yeah.
Too many people.
You need to go early, and
Yeah.
then maybe I'll go late.
Yeah, I did some late crappie fishing last year and did really good with that.
Yeah.
Didn't really get into too many wipers. Got a few white bass.
That means get it on.
How close is you want this?
There's no countdown. It's just slap.
I just have to
Check.
I just have to beep out your
Oh, you were recording?
yeah.
Oh, you're already going? I didn't know.
Always, man. I always be recording, right? You told me that. You're the first guy who tells me that.
Yeah.
How we done? We sound oh shit.
I think I sound pretty good.
Check. You got me? I hear everybody okay.
You hear me okay?
Yep.
I'm pretty loud though. So.
Yeah. Well, he'll start back here, and then as the night goes on, he goes like this.
See? It sounds nice and deep, man. All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Beer Fish Fanatics. This is Granny with My Pop Fishing. We got
Kit with the Fishing Kit YouTube channel.
and today we are back at one of our favorite spots, obviously, is Firetrucker Brewery up here in Ankeny, Iowa.
Been here a few times.
A few times. And I am risking it again. I'm going hardcore. This is like the first time I'm really going deep into the craft beer today.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna try it out.
All right. Well, let us know in a couple of days how your foot
Oh,
feels.
you'll know tomorrow. I'll let you guys know tomorrow how I feel. But
Yeah, I can't believe it hits you that fast.
yeah, it's usually I would say within about 48 hours. Sometimes it takes 2 days, but usually it's within. If you don't get anything within the 48 hours, you're most likely okay. I think. I don't know. I've only had like 2 crazy, what do you call it? Flame ups.
Yeah.
So there you guys go.
You-
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask Derek here. Have you ever had gout?
No.
Don't.
Nope. And I don't even. Honestly, I don't know enough about it. Honestly. So your foot swells up. Is that?
Oh, it's joints, like
Okay.
specific joints.
And what is it about the craft beer that?
It has purines in it, like beer has
Okay.
purines in it, where it's as you get older or just genetically, your body tends to not be able to flush out the uric acids.
Gotcha.
And purines are the ones who build the uric acid. So, but anyway,
Science lesson tonight as well.
Trust me, I had to Google. when you're down on the couch for like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
you Google the shit. How do you fix this shit? So trust me.
So the uric acid like crystallizes in
Yeah.
your joints.
It's pretty crazy, dude.
Gotcha.
I'm like, man, is that real? Oh yeah, it's real. When you have it, it's real. So, everybody, you guys are listening or watching, we have Mr. Derek here just joining us. Wilkins, thank you, sir. How's it going?
Yep.
So
Good.
You guys are wondering, this is the second time on. This gentleman's with 515 Guide Service, 515 Fishing on Facebook group. What else are you on?
Well, I work with a lot of different companies anymore. Rapala, Saki Fishing, Daiwa, RoboHawk, just to name a few. But yeah, I would say 515 Fishing, the page and the guide service are probably my primary, where I spend most of my time.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming back on with
No,
us.
I'm excited. It's always fun to talk fishing, and it's a good time just to talk about different types of fishing, and love doing it. So I'm glad you guys asked me to be back. I'm excited to do it.
Yeah, first time in person, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Last time was on like COVID style, man.
Yeah, it was COVID style last night. Come on in.
Yeah, we got Jake
Go ahead.
Wilson coming up.
You might as well
there.
show your face. This is the
A bucket
Do I
boy
want to show
here?
myself?
Bucket boy right here.
bucket
Yeah.
boy right here, guys. So he's just dropping off something.
SD card.
SD card.
We'll do trade. We'll do
What's
a
that?
trade.
Make sure
Heck
that's
yeah. Thanks, man.
I think I gave you
truly
one.
an
before.
You did? I got the
Yeah,
holographic.
very
Oh,
legal,
now
guys.
you got the other
Yeah.
one.
There you go.
Hey,
I don't think I've ever actually met you, man.
Yeah,
It's
nice
good to
meet
meet
you,
you.
sir. Yeah, good to meet you. I love you guys' stuff, especially the hunting stuff too. That
Appreciate
helps
it.
helps that gap in
I was
between.
gonna say right
Yeah, I
now
love
where
it.
I'm itching to get out on the ice, but it just will not freeze. And now
Yep.
it's raining outside.
Yeah.
Just start
it is.
fresh. We're gonna start fresh.
Yep.
Hopefully this rain
Guys
just
will
kills
do that.
everything.
I would
That's
rather have the rain than the snow piled on 1.5 inches or 2 inches of ice. I mean, if
agree.
we had 5 inches of snow right now locally on 2 inches of ice, that's terrible. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, that we had that. I don't know if it was like 2 years ago, but it just you could not build anything.
Well,
Right.
I think we spoke about this on some of the podcasts before because you know what happens, right? That snow on top of it, it's an
Insulates.
insulate.
Yep.
It insulates the
Yep.
freaking so it doesn't build ice.
Well, and the other thing I think just safety wise is it's misleading. I feel like people spud less when they see the snow. They can't see the different ice, and they don't have that cautious checking and like you said, we're not growing the ice, and not to mention you're pulling your sled. If you're pulling a sled, you're pulling it through the snow. That's not fun. It's just terrible. I mean, and all it takes is when you get that snow on a little bit of ice, you get another rain like this, that's gone. You know, you might get lucky and then just get rid of the snow and start over fresh, but there's a chance that if you get a couple days like this, you're back to square one all over again.
So it's a good thing we got rain right now.
Yeah, I'd rather it
Agreed.
kill what little ice we have and just start over.
Yes. Bucket Boys got any trips planned?
I have one to North Dakota. Some buddies, actually not with the other Bucket Boy. So I honestly have not put any planning into it. So we'll see what the heck happens. But
Are you guys having a fight?
no.
Lovers quarrel.
No, I had somebody else ask, and I said,
Now it's now the
"I'm
bucket
game."
bucket guy.
bucket guy.
Yeah.
The bucket guy. Oh boy.
You're gonna be starting drama now here.
Yep. Stir it up.
It's all right.
Cool.
You guys
All
got
right,
lucky
hey.
anyways.
Yeah. Thanks for
What's
coming.
that?
Bozos, get moving.
Get out of here. We saw how the Iowa 24 panned out, didn't we?
Yeah, we'll don't worry. We'll do a recap episode coming up soon. So.
Sounds great. Well, I'll get out of your hair, guys.
All right, guys.
See you
All right.
later.
Good seeing you, brother.
See ya. Nice to meet you.
Yep, nice to meet you, Derek.
So, yep, everybody, that was Jake with the Bucket Boys. Make sure you guys check out his channel. We were on there doing the Iowa 24 challenge, so it's kind of cool. I'm swinging by here, unannounced. It was dropping off legal stuff, by the way.
SD card.
Yeah,
I can
looked-
confirm that.
Right? I
I've
mean,
seen
it was like he was dropping off like in a sack.
It's
like,
a little Ziploc.
a
A
Ziploc
little-
sack.
a little baggie.
A little baggie. I'm
It
like,
was even
whoa.
rolled up a little bit. too.
Right? That's why I'm like, oh shit, we put this on YouTube. They were like, man, this is a legitimate deal. It wasn't. It was just
It's a fishing deal.
SD card.
We
so.
do need to make that recap happen soon before everybody be like, wait, when did this other video come out?
That's true. I'll get in touch with them and we'll make it happen pretty soon. But yeah, no, I mean, we might as well talk about ice fishing. Glad you mentioned that. But so we're here in central Iowa. We still got no ice pretty much here. We're going to have to drive approximately 1.5 to 2 hours just to get ice. But I was just talking to Derek a little bit earlier, man. And what do you think? You're going to go somewhere north, right, this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of the show, I won't name names just because I know people are touchy on that subject. But yeah, I'm going probably to the most popular destination, about slightly less than 2 hours north of Des Moines.
Yeah, so Minnesota.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's
So
Minnesota.
we'll give that a shot this weekend. And then next week too, I'll try a couple other bodies of water around that area that are a little less pressured, but produce arguably better fish at times. One thing I would tell people is I want to keep things in the state, but if you're okay with paying $15 and driving an extra half hour to 45 minutes, the amount of spots that you can catch fish in the Albert Lee area are pretty impressive. Or if you want to drive to Faribault, or if you're a yellow bass fanatic and you want to go to the Fairmont chain of lakes, there are a ton of options just across the border if you want to get away from a little bit of pressure and have some great fishing experiences. You're driving an extra half hour, maybe 40 minutes from where you normally fish, and getting away from the pressure and getting better fish. So something for people to consider if they are looking for some early ice trips. You don't have to go to Red Lake. I mean, I know that's the thing is like this time of year, everybody's like, oh, Upper Red's ready, and everybody's going to Upper Red, which trust me, I did that last year. It is fun. It's a fun experience, but that's not the only option across the border where you can find fish. There's 10,000 lakes for a reason.
Yeah. Minnesotans.
See, we need to go up there and catch
do.
their yellow bass.
That's right.
Return the favor.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Helping them out.
Good idea.
The other nice thing, too, just to shout out, and Iowa DNR has started doing a really nice job with this, too, with the survey data, but Minnesota does a really nice job with their lakes and allowing anglers to do research ahead of time. Mm-hmm. If you want to put in the work to dial down what you want to fish for, whether it's a specific species or a size of fish, they've got a ton of data on lakes where you can really narrow down what you want to get out of it. So, and like I said, I think Iowa DNR has done a really nice job in the last couple of years with that as well, because that was an area where we were struggling. You were throwing darts at times, going to different lakes and stuff. But if you do the pre-planning now, you can pick out the lakes you want to hit with some success.
Yeah, I just filtered by wiper and then just go from there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's true, though. I mean, we had them on, and like Jeff was saying, dude, I think that they made it a focus in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I think to get the data information and so all the people. Do you even ever look at other states, like their DNR like page, to see how they compare to us?
Yeah. Well, especially the other states that I fish regularly, like Kansas. I'm always on the KDWP website, and they got some catching up to do to the Iowa DNR website.
That's what I wanted to ask you, because I probably spend maybe like not that much time on there, but like Minnesota, Nebraska, Illinois. Do you ever like see how they compare? I'm just curious how their data looks. Is it up to date?
Well, I don't even think they really post their survey data.
See, that's what.
And as far as fishing reports go, the Kansas reports are, I think, monthly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's one thing. Fishing reports in general, I mean, they're nice to have, but I wouldn't base my trip off of a fishing
No.
I never. I go regardless.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go.
But you know what I like? What the Iowa DNR does is it's the knowing. It's the data. It's not the fishing report. It's the data information. Like to know.
Yep.
Okay, last spring they just did or last fall they just did a calculation of what do they net it and what did they net. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so it's good to know.
Not only do you get to see the species, but you get to see the size range
Yes,
in those
that's-
species. Like if I'm going trophy hunting, then I'm not going to spend my time on a lake that has 0 netted 12-inch or bigger crappie.
For
right?
sure.
Like if every crappie that was netted, the largest one's 11 inches, don't waste your time. I mean, do the research and the pre-planning ahead of time before you go out and make yourself have higher chances of success.
Whoever edits this one, we'll put the link to the Iowa DNR, the data, because I know we have a lot of listeners from out of state, just different places. This is something that you can even just recommend wherever state you're in, whether in Minnesota, New York, whatever. If you guys want them to, I guess in a way, copy the Iowa DNR, the data, it's good information. It's just good to know if you're going to a body of water that's an hour away, does it have the species that you're looking for?
The one thing, too, I don't know if everybody notices this or not when they look at that survey data. The one thing that the Iowa DNR does that I really love is when they do those gill nets or however they want to survey the fish, if you look at that map of the lake, they actually show you where the higher densities of fish are being netted.
Yep.
And so it helps you even kind of determine areas that you might want to hit or where are the areas that are most consistent. And I think that's something that a lot of people overlook. And in reality, it's like, ooh, here's some nice density areas. Why not target those as areas to hit on?
True.
Yeah.
We're giving up some real good secrets for Iowans right now.
I mean, but this is all stuff that's accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
But people don't know
And,
about it.
Not to be that old grumpy guy that says, get off my lawn. But I do think there are people that just want that information kind of hand given to them. Hey, tell me when the bite's hot and I can go out and hit that spot. Like, a lot of the guys that find those hot bites is because they put in that time in doing the research and trying different tactics and going out to different areas. And I realize that not everybody has that ability to be out on the water all the time, but you could look at some map data before you go out.
Yeah, there's some things you can look at. Actually, the wiper video I released yesterday, that was one of my tips. Aside from telling you what lake to go to, hey, there's resources out there. Go check out the Iowa DNR website. And like I said, just filter by a wiper. If you want to look at, where you can go to catch wipers, I'm not going to sit here and tell you go to this lake or I'm at this lake, but you can go on the Iowa DNR's website, filter it by a wiper, and then you get listed by, I think the either size or the number of fish surveyed, and then just take a pic. There's a bunch of lakes in Iowa that have wipers.
No, that was a good video. You guys should really check that one out because I actually had I posted it. I was sharing your video and everything, dude. It's crazy because everybody's like, "How do you catch a wiper through the ice?" I never knew there's so many people that I mean, granted, I mean, I guess I did know. It's hard. It's not a simple thing to track down hybrid striped bass through the ice. But I think your video did a good job. You did a pretty good. I give you props, man. I give you props, dude. You did a good job of explaining. Hey, look, guys, they are on the bottom most of the time. At least the ones that you've been chasing, you've noticed. Just the tendencies.
Every wiper I've caught through the ice, glued to the bottom.
But a lot of people don't. People who don't chase wipers through the ice very often, they think open water wise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, near the top, chasing down baits.
See.
Yeah.
So it's. I think that was a good explanation, and just kind of the stuff you use, and you explain how they moved and everything. I thought that was good, man. That was good, man.
You showed two different ways of catching them with the dead stick and the jigging option too.
True.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
the dead's it's both fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Jigging and
But
dead
even if you're in
sticking.
a single man shack, you can capitalize on different options. I mean, you can have two holes. Now, obviously, like in your video, that comes with its own headaches. But it also does increase your amount of bait that's down there and your different presentations that those fish are seeing. So raises your chances of success too,
Right.
and chances of getting tangled lines.
I was gonna say,
But
dude,
it's worth it.
Yeah,
the tangled
right,
lines.
right.
But unless you freaking edited it out, you did a pretty damn good job that you didn't get tangled, dude.
No, because I knew every time I would hook up with a fish, I'm reeling up that other line. Because if I leave it down there, I'm just asking for a big old mess.
Yeah. Now, if you want to see real tangled lines, go into like a perma shack or an ice castle with like 4 other dudes. Hook up a pike on a rod and reel, and don't tell anybody that you have a pike on for about 2 minutes, and everybody will be wrapped around your rod, and you'll have open bails everywhere, and everybody thinks they got a fish on at the same time. That's chaos.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fun.
I never fished out of a permanent shelter yet.
Yeah?
I don't think I have either.
No?
We have not.
there you go.
Maybe we should do that this year or
See,
something.
we've talked about it in the past, and
Yeah.
in the past, it was something I really wanted to do, but now that I don't know, more seasoned, it's like it would be cool to do it, but it's not.
It's a different experience. It's one of those things that if you are really hardcore about wanting to catch fish all day throughout the day, it's tough to get used to, because a lot of places where these ice castles are set up, there is the typical early morning bite that goes until about maybe 10 a.m., and then you get your evening bite from about 4 until dark. That midday bite is really tough, and you go out and you're like, I'm just gonna go punch a couple holes. I mean, we're talking 28, 32 inches of ice with maybe a foot of snow on top, and it's about 0 degrees as a high. You lose a little bit of motivation pretty quickly. And a lot of these shacks are set up on flats, mud flats a lot of times. And so you're kind of just throwing darts if you're hole hopping on a lake that big, just Lake of the Woods, for example. If you're on a mud flat that's 28 foot, it's 28 foot for about a mile across, you're kind of throwing darts if you're punching holes. And then you're like, I think I'll go back to the ice castle and watch TV for another 3 hours until the bite comes back through.
Right, I'll wait for the fish to come to me.
Right.
Are you going to be able to do the veterans event this year on the ice?
I haven't even really looked at when it is.
I think it's in February. We'll see. I mean, we'll let you guys know if we can do that or not. But the reason why I asked, that would be a good week. Was that on a weekend? It was on a weekday, huh?
I think it was a weekday this past season.
Okay. Well, I'll double check it. I think it's February 10th, 11th-ish. Don't quote me on that, everybody. But if you're a veteran, look into that. We can put links to that too, because go fish. I mean, they hired guides and everything up there. Arlie and his team and everything. Gary, they're really cool guys. So I think we do have some veteran listeners. So just in case, if you guys are in the local, if you guys want to jump into ice fishing and everything up north than Iowa, it's in Clear Lake. I'll tell you guys. It's all right.
Yeah.
They have to know it.
Clear Lake, Iowa.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Clear Lake.
But
What?
this one lake we won't bleep out because of Angliari and everything, Gary and everything that they set up for the veterans. So it's pretty cool. It's in February. I want to say, I'm pretty sure it's around like February 10th, 11th-ish around there.
Got the new panfish shootout up there this year.
I saw that. Who's setting that one up?
That's Kevin again, I think.
Is that Kevin?
Yep.
I think
he's
so,
running
yeah.
that one.
It's a little bit different. This is okay.
First to
you
come
wanna-
in with each species.
Yeah.
I do think it's got to meet a specific length, 6 inches or something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at all of the details, but first one to come in with one of each species is actually how they're judging the finishing.
When are they doing that? We might have to get Kevin on because I don't know if you golf. Do you golf?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it kind of reminds me like of a shotgun. It's like a shotgun tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Like you literally go out, get these panfish, whatever. Like you said, within 6 inches, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. The weight doesn't matter. Anything as long as it's minimum mitt. Then you come back in. The first team that checks back in that you caught those species wins.
Huh.
I mean, it's a cool way of changing the structure.
For sure.
That's untraditional and creates a new challenge for tournament anglers. So I really appreciate that because it's kind of cutting edge, and especially with YBB, kind of slowing down the last couple of years, it provides a new way to provide a tournament and kind of raise that excitement again a little bit. It's also too, it makes you as an angler have to think, am I going to try and target an area where I can catch a variety, or am I going to go to areas where different species are higher density and then just bounce around?
And it's kind of cool though because you don't care about size as long as it meets the minimum. You don't care because you catch that, then good. You're on to the next species.
Do you know what species?
Panfish,
there are?
right?
Gill, crappie, perch, yellow bass. I know for sure. I feel like I think that might be it. I think they're all panfish.
It could be a quick tournament.
Yeah.
Or,
Now, the funny thing about that, fishing Clear Lake, I would say one of the ones that might be the hardest might be the bluegill. I mean, you think about the density of perch and yellow bass, and I mean, you can find gillies, but at the same time, I think that might be the one that people catch last. Too.
when is the tournament?
That I don't know.
Okay,
I think January.
Yeah, we'll double check on that, but you're right. It just depends on the timing. Because I know where the gills congregate. Well, at least it feels like I have the best amount of gills there. But it's during a certain time, I feel like. Like early ice.
Sure.
But then, around January, February, who knows?
I don't know. It's just all random for me.
But it's pretty cool, though. We'll see. We'll try and get Kevin. If not, it's all good. But it's pretty cool. I saw that. I was like, hey, that's a little interesting. It's like a shotgun tournament style fishing.
Yeah, it's just something
tournament.
different, and I think that's always kind of cool, just to have that different challenge.
Do you think you're gonna do it?
Probably not. I honestly, I just haven't done a lot of tournaments recently. It takes a different mindset when you do tournament fishing, and it takes a really good partnership and partners that are on the same wavelength, and you almost have to have a guy that's kind of like, I'm running the strategy, and the other guy's got to be okay with putting his pride away and saying, let's do this, versus like competing philosophies. I think when my son gets older, if he wants to do some of those, I might. I just don't. I like just going to fish for fun or taking clients out and helping them learn things. That's been really rewarding for me, is teaching people other strategies and tactics to catch fish. I like tourney fishing. It just isn't as rewarding for me. I do think I'm going up to the 5 Island yellow bass tournament this year, just because that's a fun one to do, and they still have a really untapped. Well, I don't want to say untapped, but they still have a nice population of yellows up there of good size.
That's cool. Well, if you guys are wondering, you do have a guide search because you jumped into the guide search. Was it last year, right? Or is it last year?
I want to say it's 2. I want to say it's 2 years now. Yeah.
How has that been?
Good. It's been probably the amount of volume that I like. It's not overly fast paced. I'd say maybe 1 to 2 trips a month, and it's all based on education more than anything. Fishing in Central Iowa one of the big things I push is not that we're going out to necessarily catch trophies or catch your limit every time. Now, if we do, fantastic. And in the 4 hours that we work, we're going to do everything we can to catch fish. But when we're out there, it's more about why are we doing what we're doing? What are we using? Why are we using it? Why are we targeting these areas? One of the things I do after every trip with my clients is I send them the GPS pins of all the spots that we did fish together so that they have that and they can see the structures and all the things around it, like, okay, why did you do that? So it's more of a teaching experience, and that's what I tell people. And one thing that varies for me is I adjust what we're fishing for throughout the different seasons. I will always do what the client wants to do, but I will push specific species at different times. So, like, for example, in the summertime, I'm really pushing catfish because it's a great bite. We're in the shallows, they're on the spawn. And if you've not drifted cut bait for catfish and done that, it's a fantastic experience. The one negative I'd say about guiding is everybody wants to catch walleye. It doesn't matter what time of year. Everybody wants to catch walleye, and they want to catch trophies. I didn't get out enough in the fall to do a lot of guide trips, and I'm not one. I don't really want to take people's money if I have not been able to spend the time to tell them, hey, we're going to go and we're going to be successful. Right now, it's fishing, so you're always going to run that risk of it might just not happen. But fall is a good time if you're trophy targeting to go out and do that. But some people, if they're paying money, they're looking for that as close as a guarantee as they can get. And I'm like, hey, man, it's fishing. We can go out and we might have the best day of our lives, and you might catch that 30-incher. We might not go out and we might not get a bite. I mean, that is fall walleye fishing, and it's kind of walleye fishing in general. But
in Iowa.
In Iowa. That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. I'm like, the expectations for walleyes in Iowa, I mean, that's
my thing is ultimately I just want to be real with people. I'm not doing it to make money. You know,
Yeah.
I think my rates reflect that. It's more about getting somebody that experience and that education so that when they go out in the future, they now know more things to be successful, or they know more places and more tactics to be successful. That's ultimately my goal. And if we catch a lot of fish at the time, fantastic. I will move people around a lot. Like if we're on a 4-hour trip, I'm not going to spend more than 10, 15 minutes trying one tactic or in one spot. We're going to keep trying different things so that they get as many experiences and many tactics in that 4 hours.
And you don't run a boat, do you?
Nope.
Yeah,
Well,
I didn't
nope.
think so.
That's the funny thing with the guide service is it's done a lot of things that I hadn't initially expected to do. I hadn't done the guiding on a boat just because liability, and it just adds another element when you add equipment and maintaining equipment, and you've got somebody on a boat and you need the life jacket. There's just a lot of variables.
different.
Yeah.
However, I have jumped on other people's boats and served as a captain and showed them how to use electronics, gone to different areas, caught fish on their boat. Nothing I ever originally planned, but when people reach out to you and go, hey, jump on my boat, let's go, let's do this, I go, okay, yeah, I mean, that's sweet. Your boat, your stuff. I mean, we'll go out there and we'll rock and roll. And some people, they just want to know how to use their electronics more efficiently.
Okay.
And that's something that's another teaching aspect. And once you know how to use that equipment that's $800 on your boat well, it makes a big difference. Because some people, I think, they spend the money and they just expect that equipment to put them on fish.
Just turn it on and it'll show me where the fish are.
But that's not how it works. Just because you have side view and you have live scope and you have Mega 360, it's not going to necessarily put you on fish unless you know how to use it and what you're looking at. Like if you're looking at side view and you don't know what those little specks off to the side are, it's not doing you any good. You have to understand what it is you're looking at to be effective. And so I've done that. I've done some consultations, which I had never expected doing that. That's like, hey, we would meet up here, and we're literally going through maps, and I'm just talking about maps with you. We're talking about locations. We're talking about species. I'm saying this is why this point is a good spot. This is why this outside bend of a creek bed is a good spot this time of year. Stuff I had never originally planned on doing, but when people ask, hey, is this something you do? Okay, yeah, sure, let's do it, you know.
So is that like a different rate? Like
Yes.
we're not going fishing.
Yep.
I just want to ask you a bunch of
Education.
questions.
Yep,
Yeah.
and it's I do all my trips kind of guided or geared towards what the client wants. So, for example, consultations are about $40, depending on how much time you want to spend looking at stuff and what you want to look at. I've done that. I've done tag-along trips. So a trip where you've got all your own gear, you just want to tag along and fish with us. I'm not necessarily telling you what to do, but you're fishing with me, and
Yeah.
I'm showing you what I'm doing, and you're following us around. Tag along trips, I charge about $75 on that.
Huh.
So just different options, things that like when I first started, I hadn't really thought about doing, but when people ask you, like, yeah, I can do that. You know,
Like,
why
sure,
not?
why
Yeah.
not?
I'm really excited about the ice season though, because the nice thing with the ice guiding is I have all the equipment, and it's really good equipment, and it gives people the opportunity to go out and try it out with somebody that's experienced and knows what they're doing without having to invest a ton of money, right? Like if you're going to go ice fishing for the first time and you want to be successful, it does take a little bit of an investment. I mean, you're going to want a flasher. You want to probably have a float suit to be safe. And so those couple of things alone are going to put you $300-400, down. You could just pay $100, $150, go out on a trip, see all the different types of equipment you could have, see if you truly like it, and then go from there. And so that's the thing I like about the ice fishing is getting people that opportunity to try the experience without having to make a huge investment. And to be honest with you, ice fishing trips are generally productive. I would say we focus a lot on panfish. Once again, everybody wants to catch walleye, so we do have some walleye trips. But we can go out and find schooling crappie in a basin relatively consistently, and that's fun.
Mostly your client base, are they just mostly local?
Yeah, I would say for the most part within the state of Iowa. So within 2.5 hours for the most part. Yeah, I haven't had a ton of out-of-state people come through, but I would also say Iowa's not necessarily a destination fishing state
not.
either.
But then that's like we were saying, like, I mean, we're in Iowa, man.
Yeah.
The expectation for walleyes,
Yeah.
I mean, what are they, what, I don't know, what do you expect as walleyes in Iowa? What would you expect
Me?
if you were walleye fishing?
Me
like,
as a client of somebody that guides as far as walleyes go?
If you know the fishing in Iowa,
I mean,
for walleyes.
if I was looking at Derek, who isn't, he doesn't sell himself as a walleye guide.
No.
I wouldn't have the highest expectations. I don't even know if there is walleye guides in Iowa. Maybe Northwest Iowa.
Northwest, I mean, I would say Kevin does
Up north, yeah.
a pretty good job putting people
Clearly.
on walleyes at different times a year, but he's not. I wouldn't even say Kevin's a year-round walleye guy.
Right.
I know we've got a couple guys that do some river services for walleye, but I would not say that we have a consistent walleye bite and somebody that takes people out walleye fishing year-round consistently.
See,
I will tell you that Dan Lopez catches a crap ton of walleye, and I don't know how the guy has the time he has to go out and catch the walleye he does, but kudos to Dan. I mean, he does catch a lot of walleye. And I've even asked him point blank, don't you ever get tired of catching walleye?
He's
No.
probably like, no.
No.
Not when he
never.
catches. Those are
Never.
nice size ones too that he be catching.
Oh, man. I don't think Dan's ever had a bad day of any outdoor sport. I mean, he's shooting antelope. He's shooting bears. He's catching walleye. I mean, he's catching salmon in Milwaukee, and he's coming back the same weekend. I'm like, how does this guy do this? So shout out to Dan.
There you go, man.
But anyways, back to your question. I don't know, because I know what Iowa walleye fishing is like. I wouldn't hold Derek up to a high standard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
gonna go and hire Derek to go put me on a 30-inch walleye in August.
No, that's what people do ask.
Yeah, people do ask, and it's. You're right though. It's just our body of water, just our landscape. It's just not meant to. It's not a walleye fishery here. It just really isn't. And we catch them, which is great, and that's why everybody's like.
You can have good days. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. You can have good days. You can catch limits, especially in the spring. I would say the spring is, in my opinion, the most consistent bite, especially if you're looking to catch eaters. Male 15 to 17-inch fish. But with walleye fishing in this state, there is a level of randomness to it that is different than North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota. Like I will say not to discredit any anglers in any other states, but I will say there's times where we have fished bodies of water outside the state of Iowa, and I feel like because it is so difficult in Iowa, it actually gives us some strengths going to fish these other places, because I've gone to lakes outside the state of Iowa and just killed it, for walleyes, and it just seems like it's easier. And I've seen where people don't even use leaders; they tie straight to mono, and I'm like, you don't use the leader here? Like they're not. Oh no, man, they'll hammer it. And I'm like, dang, okay, So that's kind of the rewarding part of it, is because it is such a finicky game, and the numbers aren't quite here, to that level.
Yeah.
It pays off when you do travel to areas where there's high densities of walleye.
For sure.
Yeah, I think Jay Simmons talked about it before. When he comes down to the States and he says everybody fishes way better than he can.
Sure.
Because it's a little bit harder for us.
The struggle is different.
Yeah.
Struggle, that's the thing. The struggle is different.
You have to try different tactics that in some of these other areas you don't ever have to think about, because you don't have to do those tactics.
Yeah, like leader, what?
Yeah, exactly. I just couldn't believe it the first time I was up at Devil's ice fishing. He was just tying straight to Power Pro or whatever it was he was using. I was like,
Dang.
you don't do it with fluoro or anything? Nah, no, man, they'll hammer it. They either want it or they don't. I'm like, okay. Nice problem to have, but and then catching 27s or. That's normal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 27. Yeah, we caught 3 of those in the morning. So
It's true though, but that's what Jay said though. He when we had him on, he was just like, the pressure is different here than it is in Canada.
Sure,
too.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because he goes, we don't even see nearly what you guys see in the States.
Sure.
The pressure.
He was
for
saying
fishing.
they might see 2 other boats, if even that.
On a weekend.
Yeah,
We're
on
like,
a
what?
weekend.
Well, the tough thing there is you think about the options. Even just north of the Iowa border for us, the options in Minnesota, the Dakotas, in Canada for bodies of water. Me and my son do a father-son ice trip every year, and so we went to northern Wisconsin last year. 3 of the 4 lakes that we fished, I didn't see a single person around us. There's not too many Iowa lakes that you could go to and have that experience. A lot of our popular, good biting fish lakes, everybody knows about them and goes to them. That happens. Like Clear Lake's a perfect example. Our local lake around here, perfect example. Mm-hmm. I would say you go an hour south, you can find some hidden gems that people don't look at, but you see a lot more people on the lakes here just because we don't have as many options.
Well,
There's not as many places to fish.
Right.
But that, and also timing. When it comes to ice fishing, we only got a month and a half, 2 months at best. You know what I'm saying? Those states and Canada, everything up there,
It's almost half the year.
Yeah, they got half the year almost. Mm-hmm. It's a big difference, because then you don't have to feel like I need to get. You know what I'm saying? Like us, when ice is on, we're like, holy shit, we got maybe we literally got 8 weeks if you really calculate that in.
Yeah.
I got to get out today. So then everybody else is thinking that way. But up north, when you got 4 months, 5 months of ice fishing, you're like, I can go tomorrow, or I can go next week. It's not a big, you know what I'm saying? Yep. I think that's the biggest thing of why there's so much pressure when it comes to ice here.
Yeah, and that kind of comes back to that point of going a couple minutes past the border right now to Albert Lee and fishing a lake.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, I ain't going to Albert Lee, I'm going up to Mille Lacs, and so you can pick 10 different lakes and go have a great time and not have close to the pressure. Yeah. In early ice, pressure does make a difference.
I think so.
When you're talking 3 inches to 6 inches of ice, and it's clear ice in particular, and you get some groups, farmers, and they're all crowded together, that does make a difference. Those fish are aware, and if you go and you just see a bunch of people fishing in one area, one of the tips I would say is don't fish in that village. Fish on the outside of the village, because those fish are seeing all that stuff. They're hearing all that commotion. They're hearing the guys playing their boom box in their shack. That stuff does make a difference. Now, you might be able to stay on that same contour line or whatever it is that's drawing people there and just be 100 yards, 200 yards on the outside of that and be way more successful.
It's our buddy Mark.
Yeah, Mark D. Shout out to you, the boombox boy.
But they'll catch fish while the music's playing.
It's true.
But then when the fish aren't biting, Well, they're still pounding that music, and they're like, the fish don't want to bite. Like,
Yeah.
The music got nothing to do with it. Okay?
I just see that as something that people want to just, I think, instinctually want to go to where they see a lot of other people, right? It's kind of that sheep mentality of like, oh my gosh, there's 20 shacks over there. That's got to be where the hot bite is, right?
It's easy to join the crowd.
Right. Like,
Yes.
hey, I don't have to do any work. I can just go over there and I'm
Yeah.
going to catch fish.
Yeah.
And then they get over there and punch a couple holes and they're like, there's no fish over there.
Nothing.
What's going on?
Nothing.
You know?
That's true. You need a refill? Let's go.
Refill time?
Refill time.
Okay.
Potty time. Come on, man. Come on, kid. You gotta catch up. Let's go.
Catch up.
Catch up.
Red ears there.
Okay.
Big red ears.
Okay.
Well, I feel like red ears are always big.
Sure.
If they're in a body of water, they're always pretty nice sized.
Yeah.
Even if everything else is small.
You guys got any trips planned? And we can talk about this
Yeah,
on the air.
we can talk about that.
I was curious
So.
if you guys have any trips like out of the ordinary trips or anything like that.
I think I have one planned.
Yeah.
One planned. We can talk about that.
All right, everybody. We need
All
to
right,
get,
we don't have to worry about all those lakes we just named.
Yeah. I
We'll
don't,
just-
I don't know what you're talking about.
Big silence for
Cheers, guys. We didn't even
2
get this
minutes.
cheers,
There you
Derek,
go.
earlier.
Hey.
Cheers.
I'm doing the brown out ale for Firetrucker. If you guys, I want to say this is one of their staples. If you guys ever get a chance to come out here, it's a good brown.
The one I'm drinking is actually, it's similar. I think it's called American Art. She recommended if you like the brown, and I actually think I like it a little bit better than the brown. So
Okay.
it's a solid choice.
And they're doing like a competition because you're doing one of the beers here. I think they're against the distributors, right, or something like that. She said, I think.
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, I was paying. They have like a taste contest.
I
or
was
something.
kind of looking around.
All right. You got the, what is it called? The peachy pie.
Peachy pie.
Peachy pie.
Yeah, it's honey cinnamon infused New England IPA. See, I know that much.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's not bad though. I mean, I was a little nervous. I was
I
like,
wish
"Shh."
I could be an IPA guy. I'm just not.
I love it.
See, it isn't even really that hoppy. It's more. It's like cinnamony and
Yeah, but it's not too cinnamony.
Yeah.
Like it's not heavy. It's a hint of cinnamon. And then no, this is a good one if you don't like the hops.
Yeah.
It's only like 21 IBU, so it's not
Okay.
too hoppy.
Okay.
If you want to try it later on, we can definitely do that.
New Englands and hazies are,
They're a little bit more low key.
they're more low key.
Hop-wise.
Yeah, hop wise. If you wanna, be a little
Yeah.
adventurous.
I like my ales and I like my stouts.
There you
that's
go.
kind of my. Not a big sours guy.
No, I'm not a sour guy either.
You know what? I'm not, but then well, before I had gout, I was slowly liking some sours. I wasn't like loving it.
I do like my ciders though.
It's a little sweeter though.
No, you don't like those?
Ciders are okay. It's just a little sweeter than.
Like a Stiegel Rattler. I love those bad boys.
Yeah, I don't mind those.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'll drink one,
Yeah.
maybe two.
That's my summer like golf drink if I'm gonna go out.
Golf drink, man. It's
Golf
straight IPA,
drink.
man. You got to do IPAs when you're on the
Nah.
golf course.
Stiegel or vodka lemonade.
No.
That's
So
what's at.
this is my biggest advice to any golfers, dude. IPA is the way to go. When it's super hot and stanky and swamp ass and all that swass, IPAs is amazing when it's hot and humid, dude. I don't know.
I don't golf, so but I
Oh,
drink
yeah.
IPAs though.
Yeah.
I gotta take Kit out next year sometime.
Yeah.
I did take up golf for one summer.
Why
Yeah.
I gotta take you out? You know why? I get to go out once a year now. Because there's only certain, I don't know if I talked about this before, but I had to give up a lot of hobbies.
Sure.
You don't see me playing video games no
Sure.
more. You know what I mean? You don't see me golfing anymore now. I get to golf once a year. But if I tell boss lady, hey, I might have to take fishing Kit instead of fishing, because he takes me fishing, I'll take him golfing. So maybe.
Oh man,
Ah.
depends on how the bite is. If there's a hot bite, you're like, let's golf. Like, no, we're
Yeah.
not going golfing.
I haven't got to play games much at all, which is funny because
Yeah.
I still buy the new systems. Like we have an Xbox Series X at home, but my son,
Fancy.
Man.
my
Fancy.
son is 6, and so he's getting into that age of playing
Hmm.
video games, and so he has started discovering Madden,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so now he wants to play against me. The thing that's chapping my butt though, man, is he's beaten me a couple
Oh
times.
boy. Yeah, because you
I
see the way
can't-
Madden
I
is
can't-
nowadays.
I can't handle it. It's just like, no, how's this kid beating me?
I was a big Madden guy, and then all of a sudden it got so complicated on the buttons. And
Oh, there's so many different things.
It's crazy, dude.
It's crazy.
I was like, that's why I was like, all right,
It
I'm
is
over
fun
it.
though. I mean, it is kind of it's rejuvenating a little bit to get on there and play with him. It's like, I remember why I like this again. You know, it's good
I
time.
was never into Madden.
No.
Like not sports games in
Yeah.
general.
This
really.
guy's first-person shooter
Yeah, I was a
grandmaster,
FPS
man.
guy.
Yeah.
He's FPS guy.
In alternative life, I'd be a Twitch streamer
Yeah.
Hey,
playing
so,
Call of Duty.
Actually, yeah, I don't know why you never did. So if you guys are always wondering, okay, where's Fishing Kid? What is he all about, right? Does he only just fish only? Dude, homie right here. I'm not going to, don't get a big head now.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, he was probably one of the best, I would say FPS guy that I've ran across playing the game.
Yeah.
He was that good.
Nice.
I'm surprised you. Well, then again, YouTube thing wasn't a thing back then either. But I think you're right. It could have been an alternative lifestyle. You could have
Mr.
been a Twitch
360
guy.
no scope.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was him.
Yeah.
It's him.
Like throwing a knife across the map in
Yeah.
Call
Yeah.
of Duty.
Nice.
Yeah, he was that guy. Surprised you don't play no more.
I don't know. I decided fishing was more
Yeah.
important.
Yeah,
That's
you gotta decide if you're. I mean,
Yep.
if you want to be hardcore and passionate about a hobby,
True.
You do got to kind of dedicate yourself. I mean, that's one thing. Like when people talk about fishing, it's like, man, we could talk for hours and hours and hours. Like if you want to really get into the nitty gritty about fishing, like the casual person outside is like, oh yeah, fishing, cool. You know, you just go out there with a bobber and you throw it out and you see what happens. No, man, like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
so many more layers, and that's any hobby though, right? Like that's anything that somebody's passionate about. There's so many different layers that separate somebody that's like a dedicated person to that craft versus somebody that just goes out and does it whenever they can.
So we asked Butters on our last podcast, like how often do you go fishing out of 365 days a year? How often do you? Okay, I want to ask because you're a guide and everything, and then you also fish for just rec, and then just 365 days a year. How often do you fish?
I'd say probably 150, so maybe 1/3 of the time. Since I work in education, I get a nice chunk over winter break where I'm out on the water almost every day. Over summer, I get July off, and so I'm on the water almost every single day. And then during the rest of the weeks of the year, I try to get on the water one weekday and at least one of the weekend days, if not both.
See, I was saying I'm probably out maybe 100 times a year.
Sure.
And that seemed like a reasonable number to
Sure.
me. And
you were
guys
more.
were like, no, you're
thought you
out
were
there
more.
like,
thought you were more.
250. You're like,
I didn't think you were
no.
200.
That's a lot of
200.
time.
200.
I think you're closer to 200 than you are to 100. How's that sound?
I don't know.
But are you saying that just because the amount of content?
No. Just because I know.
he's literally out.
Well, I think I know most of the times when he's fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, some days I don't know if he's fishing or not, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can
sometimes I'm sneaky.
I can guess. So see, if I can guess, and then the sneaky days, so that's why I was adding it on. So I'm like, man, you got to be closer to 200. I think you're closer to 200. I think the only
Could
reason.
be. I would say here's a myth though, is people on social media, they see pictures, videos, what have you. You're like, oh my gosh, you're always on the fish. You must know where the fish are at
Yeah.
24/7. It's like, well, I'm not posting and telling you when I'm not catching the fish. I mean, I've had days that suck too, just like anybody else does. Those days happen. I mean, if you're an angler or a hunter or just an outdoor, I mean, those days happen. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
But the difference is time outside, time in the field, time on the water. There's nothing better than just time and experience to help you become a better angler, hunter, etc. I mean,
Yeah. It's almost cliche at this
It
moment to
is.
say
Yeah.
it, but that's what it is.
yeah.
The more time you spend out there.
and not to promote like fishing by yourself, but I think if you truly want to learn and get better, the more you can go out and fish by yourself and be willing to try things and not worry about what the person with you is doing, the more you will grow as an angler. I can only speak for myself personally, but I know anytime I go with a buddy, I mean, if he's catching stuff and he catches 3 fish in a row, I'm switching it up. I'm going to what he's doing. But there's also too, and maybe this is just because I'm overly competitive, but if I'm out and Kit's out fishing, we're fishing at the same place at the same time, like I want to catch fish, right? You know, so if Kit starts catching fish and I'm not catching fish, I might start feeling a little bit of pressure, even though I shouldn't, because Kit's not like rubbing it in my face or whatever. He might be, but like
if you were Grandy, I would.
Whoa!
Like I want to catch fish.
I do to you,
I want to
man?
catch fish, but if I go out by myself, I can go out and just say, hey, I'm just gonna try drop shot today. I don't care if I'm successful or not. I just want to try drop shot. I want to get better at this technique and kind of work on that finesse skill and get better. If I'm out with Kit and he's killing it, just straight up jigging and I'm drop shotting the whole time, I'm gonna feel that pressure of like I need to go to a jig, man.
Huh? What's he got going on?
Yeah, I gotta stop
there?
doing that. Yeah, so that'd just be another, I guess, piece of advice I give people is don't be afraid to go try areas that other people aren't trying and try tactics that people aren't trying.
Yeah, I mean, some of our buddies, like they won't go fishing unless it's like a party.
hot bite.
Yeah, unless it's a party.
Yeah.
Like we're just gonna go out and have a good time, drink beer, cook food.
And I get it, because that's and that's
People
their
go
thing.
out for different reasons.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, and I get it. I can't hate on it, but
No.
sometimes I just want to fish.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that will go out ice fishing. They'll set up an 8-man hub and they'll be grilling hot dogs and drinking beer more than they are.
We've done it. Yeah,
more
we've
than
all
they're-
done it.
And
More
it's
than
fun.
catching fish, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just you have to understand what you're going out to do.
Yeah.
And like, hey, I just set up the 8-man hub and I've got hot dogs cooking. We ain't gonna bounce around 20 spots in the next 10 minutes. You know?
But then when that guy in your group is also the guy that goes out on a weekday by himself for 3-4 hours, when he's the only one catching fish, you're like, man, well, like what's he doing? How's this guy catching all the fish? Well, he's putting in the time outside of these little get-togethers.
He's the one doing that research that we talked about earlier. Hey, he's running 2-pound test and you're all running 6-pound.
Yeah.
He's running a 3mm jig and you're all running a 5 or better. Or you're running spoons. He's running a different type of bait, or his presentation is more horizontal and you're not adjusting the way you're not set on your jig. All those little things can make a difference when it comes to a bite, especially a finicky bite.
Especially ice fishing. A lot of those little things make a big difference.
For sure.
Because these fish aren't cruising in from 20 feet away crushing your baits.
Right.
They're just creeping.
Especially high pressured areas or big fish. I mean, big fish in general are big for a reason. And they've seen stuff. I mean, they wouldn't be big if they were stupid and got caught 20 times, right? I mean, that's the thing. So like, if you're crappie fishing out on a local lake and that fish comes up, goes back down, comes up, goes back down, comes up, goes back down. All right, hey, I got to change something up, right? Like, I got to find a way to get them to commit. I mean, they're savvy for a reason. I mean, they're 14, 15, 16-inch crappies for a reason.
Man.
That's true. Though. Makes sense.
What's the biggest crappie you ever caught?
16.
16.
I've been stuck on 16 for a long time.
Whoa.
What's yours?
I think 14. I
Really?
just hit 14 and I can't.
The part I'm
you?
proud of is as a black crappie, which traditionally the white crappie get a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Is a male spawning black crappie 16, so that was pretty cool.
Yours 15?
14.
14?
Catch a
14.
lot of 14s. 14 is a hard number to get above.
The biggest I've ever caught. So I beat you on this one. Yes. The biggest
man.
crappie.
Hold on.
Take what you can get, I
I'm
guess.
taking it, man. Hey, Magoo's even my witness. We were in a lake near where I live, kind of, and 15.75 because I had
That's
to
a
measure.
heck
I was
of a
like,
fish,
cause
man.
I like, damn, this thing is. I've never caught
It's
a crappie
it
this
looks
big.
like, it looks like a whole nother species once you get above 14.
I'm like, holy shit, I've never caught a crappie this big before.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I measured it.
It's more like a bass.
Yeah, and Magoo was like, holy shit, that's a big ass crappie, dude. I'm like, huh? Yeah, I had to measure it out. I think it was probably about 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
but the biggest crappie I've ever seen, like in person or on video, was almost 18 inches.
Really?
Damn, that's huge.
Yeah, I saw it at an urban lake, and you could catch 8 inches all day.
Yeah.
And there was
That's
this
huge.
one freak of nature that this
Really?
one guy caught. It looked,
I mean, that's a lifetime fish right
Was it released or did he
no,
keep it?
he actually he sent it in to get it mounted, but
Yeah.
some shit happened and it
Oh,
didn't work
man.
out.
no. So
That's tough.
that sucks.
I would still get a replica.
Yeah, I think he can get replica.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he took pictures and stuff.
Yeah, but when I saw
mean,
that fish,
man.
I thought it looked like those fake fish on
Yeah.
Bass Pro,
Yeah.
like hanging up on the wall. That's how like freaky
Yeah.
it was.
I don't think.
You're talking about 18-inch crop, dude. That's
Yeah.
huge.
That's
I think there's times where people that don't put fish on tape, they'll catch a 14-inch and they're like, "Oh, that's 17."
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's not 17. You don't know what 17 looks like until you see it in person. You're like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, that's not even a crappie." I mean, even a 14-inch crappie is a monster. I mean, you go
Yeah.
down to Red Rock and work that out if you want to, but you go down to a lake down south or something like that, and you can catch a good amount of those. God, they're studs. I mean, the shoulders on those bad boys,
Yeah.
the thickness, they just look so different than a 10, 11-inch crappie.
Yeah,
For sure.
So different.
100%.
I think with crappies though, with the length, they're also that much taller.
gosh.
too.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
that helps. Yeah, you're right. Because
Same with bull gills, man. I've
Yeah.
had people tell me, "Oh, I got a 12-inch gilly." I said, "No,
No, you did.
I said, "No, you
That's
didn't."
a freak of a.
I know.
That's a freak of
I said,
a
a
bluegill.
12-inch gilly. I mean, have you seen a 10 and a half-inch gilly? Those things are massive.
Yeah.
I said, I would say that's a 10-inch gilly, but you show me on tape that bad boy's a 12-inch gilly. Otherwise, I ain't believing that.
Speaking of that, I see how people use tape measures nowadays.
There's a picture.
You saw the picture. I'm like, what's everybody doing? They don't even put the lip here,
Yeah.
the tape. I'm like,
Put it at the half-inch mark or
Yeah.
1-inch
not
mark.
even something. Yeah, the 1-inch mark.
The
I'm like,
picture you showed was like he was past the 1-inch mark.
Yeah.
and who
Caught a 10-inch bluegill.
I'm like, what the hell? I'm like,
Come
okay.
on, hey, come on, man. We all respect a 9-inch gilly. It's okay. Just say it's a 9-inch
Yeah.
gilly.
Fine,
It's
that's a
okay.
good. That's a good bluegill.
That's a
Dude.
respectable gill.
Just move the lips near the end. What are you? What are you doing? Like, all right, it's about there. I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? That's exactly what people be doing though nowadays on social media. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like,
Well, I think part of the problem is they care so much about length and weight.
It's an ego. It's an ego thing.
It's an ego thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, where are you guys at on your biggest perch? Because that's one that I'm struggling.
That's funny. We're talking about how people are like, oh, they care so much about biggest fish, and then
Yeah.
we're here like, hey, what's your
Transition.
biggest crappie? What's your biggest perch?
It's a pride and ego
Yeah.
thing. 100%.
Well, and it's a goal. I mean, it's
Yeah.
one of those things too that you set out because this is an achievement you're trying to seek, and once you reach that legitimately, it is a good celebration. It's a really
Yeah.
rewarding feeling.
I think that the biggest perch I caught was a jumbo perch in I'll tell you offline, the body of water. I had no idea.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
where.
it was
I know
13.
Uh huh.
13
13,
inches.
yeah.
That's the biggest perch I ever caught. But
Yeah.
I was like, this came out of freaking nowhere. Because
Yeah.
this body of water, it's local.
It's an urban pond.
It's an urban pond.
I already know.
And I'm just like, what the hell?
I
A
guess.
13-inch?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the biggest perch I've
Yeah.
ever caught.
How about you?
So that's a
I think it was a 12-inch, and
Smart.
it had some fungal growth on the side.
Nice.
Hey, you'll take that.
I
Add
remember
some
it.
length.
You'll take it. Add some length.
on,
yeah.
on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It looked like it had
Not on the
a.
tail.
It looked like it had a paintbrush sticking out of its side.
Oh, nice.
It was
Jeez.
super weird.
Yeah, I've been stuck on, just like walleye, I'm stuck on the same number all the time. I'm stuck on 12 for perch. Caught a lot of 12s, just cannot break that. And I fished in some really what you would call perch destination places, out in Wabe and South Dakota. Caught tons and tons and tons and
Really?
tons. Just have not caught that monster football. Fished Devil's Lake, have not caught that monster football.
What's considered a monster perch to you?
I mean, I feel like that's subjective to everybody, but for me, 13 is that like there's something special about 13 on up. 13's a level, and then 15's like a separate level. Like,
dude, 15.
I don't know if you've
inch
seen.
I've
I don't know
never
if you
s-
guys saw Ronnie Leonard when he went to Cascade a couple years ago. He caught like 3 or 4 15. I mean,
Jeez.
once when we talk about a fish that looks like a whole separate species,
Yeah,
these
Cascade.
Perch, these perch they don't even look like perch.
Yeah,
I mean,
Cascade's kind of legendary.
You
It's
was there, yeah?
ridiculous.
Have you been?
No, I've never been to
you never
Cascade.
Oh, I thought you had.
oh my
No,
gosh.
if I've been to Cascade and my biggest perch is only 12
Yeah.
inches.
That's a bad
you know,
trip. That's a
yeah,
bad
it was
trip.
terrible. I had a terrible time.
We should go to
It's
Cascade
just
one year, though.
unbelievable. Some of those fish. I mean, but same goes for walleye. I mean, I've caught tons and tons and tons and tons of walleye, but I cannot catch that one bigger than 26. Caught 3 or 4, 26. Just cannot catch that freak.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah, I'm stuck at 26 also,
Yeah,
actually.
it is what it is.
I think I I actually might have beaten you. I have to double
my
check.
gosh.
I'm gonna go
Granny's
back on my
on a
picture
roll.
because that's
Hey man, he he's taking every little battle he can.
I'm taking it.
He's got a
Hey.
chart at home where he's got
Yeah.
Kit and Grandy. And
Got it.
He's putting up his.
got him on crappie,
walleye,
and I think I got him on
crappie.
walleye right now.
I'm like way up here, and he's like, okay,
I'm working my way
Hey,
up.
man.
making my way up.
Come on, dude.
I will tell you though, like if you've had a goal for a specific species for a while and it's not happening, when you hit that fish, man, it is a really rewarding feeling. I had that with flathead this year. Caught
Oh,
two.
you caught a
Yes.
freak of
Yeah.
nature.
Oh, yeah.
Caught two really special fish within like a month and a half time. And man, it's just hard to describe when you've tried so hard for something to meet that, and then to even up it higher than something you'd even expect. Like, whoa! I mean, it's just a really cool experience for somebody that goes out a lot.
How long were you going out to chase those flatheads?
Not as much as I should have. I mean,
Okay.
if I was being truly hardcore, I mean, I would be going out every weekend. I would be dedicating myself on a sandbar overnight. I wasn't doing that. So I mean, I wasn't pouring my heart and soul into it, but I put the time in. I mean, I went to the different spots. I went to the log jams. I went to the community spots, and I fished there, in the evenings and throw out the live baits and all that stuff. I mean, I put in plenty of trips and caught fish. I mean, it's not like that you don't catch fish. You just catch 10-pounder, 15-pounder, 8-pounder, 10-pounder. I mean, you catch a lot of those cookie cutters. So when you finally get that one that you're looking for, like, oh my God, it just happened.
See, I've never caught a big flathead before.
Like, you caught that one down at Red Rock.
Oh yeah, the freaking
Yeah, when you weren't trying to.
Yeah, the
You weren't
suicide flathead.
Yeah.
That's right. I can't
Yeah.
believe I
That
forgot.
was a nice
That was my
fish.
biggest flathead I ever caught.
That was
I don't know
That
if
was a
you didn't
pretty-
weigh it though.
No,
I
I
don't
didn't.
you
think.
didn't win.
But it was a nice fish.
It was double digits.
Yeah, oh for sure.
Yeah.
I
That was
mean,
a good one.
It's funny, we're talking about like personal bests and stuff, but I don't weigh or measure fish that much.
sure.
It's because you're too concerned about getting the fish back in to make sure they're okay.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah, which is okay. I mean, that's a good
Yeah.
Like, hey,
philosophy to have.
Here's the biggest one I caught. It's on video.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have to prove anything
Yeah,
to anybody.
no.
I think because you recording makes you're like whatever. This is the biggest fish I caught.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't need to
Yeah.
measure it, and I have it in memory.
Yep.
So that's
I would tell you that last flathead I caught though that was a
yeah. That was like he said, it was a freak of nature. That's
It was funny because that was fall walleye fishing. That's what I was doing. Is I was out at 9:30 at night throwing a size 6 flicker shad and gold and throwing it just below some riprap, and this thing hit, and for the first 10 seconds I thought, this is a big walleye. And then after about 10 seconds, like, this isn't a walleye. And about 25 minutes later, and it was so dark, I couldn't truly tell the size of that fish, but you're fighting it on walleye gear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a long time to try and finesse that fish in, and all of a sudden you pull it on shore, you're like, oh my, what the heck? That's a freak,
Dude. Man, I couldn't imagine.
Fun though. I mean,
I think I had to put more time in next year.
It would have been like at least 2 of the fish that I caught.
Yeah.
I feel like.
It was
and the thing with that fish is if its length matched its girth, it would have been up there with some of the biggest flatties in the state. I mean, it was not super long, but man, it was just so wide, just crazy. Just it's one of those experiences, and as outdoorsmen, we all have those moments that it's something you'll never forget.
For sure.
There's those moments where you're like, I will remember that for the rest of my life, and can recount that like minute by minute. And that's part of why I think we do what we do, though, right? For those experiences.
Yeah.
I think we fish for that
A lot of
chance.
reasons.
Yeah, I mean, we love catching fish. We love the fight and the struggle, I guess you say. But it's also, like you're saying, it's a chance of catching something that it's unexpected.
Sure.
And that it's going to just like, holy cow.
Yeah.
The first thing, you'll never, ever remember. I mean, you can't forget it,
Right.
that you caught that
Right.
specific fish or
Right.
whatever size. It doesn't even matter, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about wiper? What's your biggest wiper? That could either be length or weight.
24, like 7, 8 pounds. Pretty. I don't want to say it's definitely not cookie cutter. It's a respectable fish, but I've not been able to break into that double digit mark, which has been frustrating.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And I fished alongside guys, and they'll catch that one right next to you. Like,
Yep. I know that
It's
feeling.
tough.
And it just happens. You're like, I want one of those.
Trust me.
And
Yep.
caught a lot of 5-pounders, but we all know a lake that has a lot of 5-pounders and has a great population of them, which part of what makes that lake so fun if you know how to catch them. And I'm cool catching those all day.
Oh,
But man,
dude.
it would be nice to catch one 10 to 13 to 15 pounds. I will say, I've got a trip this summer. I'm going out to Cape Cod, first time striper fishing. I saw your striper.
Oh,
I'm
dude.
excited. Cape Cod's supposed to be a pretty legit spot for stripers, so I'm pretty excited about going out and doing that for the first time ever. So
Yeah, that's still my goal, like you're saying. Double-digit wiper, man, that's still my goal. It's elusive for me. I'm like, my biggest is probably like 6 pounds.
sure,
Still elusive,
still a
man.
nice fish.
Still a nice fish,
Yeah.
but it's still elusive. That 10-pounder, I can't freaking find it. And then this guy catches 10-pounder, and then I go the next day and then catch no wipers. I was
Sure.
like, golly, I just
Yeah.
Well, I
want
didn't
that.
weigh it. We don't know for sure.
It looked like a guy. It was pretty damn close. If not, it was above. It was pretty damn big, dude.
Yeah, the one he's talking about, I'm pretty sure it was a double-digit fish because
Yeah,
it's
it
the
was-
biggest wiper I've caught in a long, long time. And the biggest wiper that I've weighed was 13 pounds.
Damn.
Now I know you guys like to chase blues. Do you have a goal for a blue?
Didn't
Man.
catch any this year. We didn't chase them this year, though.
Okay, but I know you go down to Kansas once in a while, right? So
Yeah.
do you have is there a number in your mind, or you just want to go catch blues? Or do you-
I came up with the number 30 pounds.
Okay.
I don't think I've hit that yet.
okay.
I think I've caught 20-pounder,
Sure.
but I don't think I've hit a 30 yet. Cause man, it's weird because when you look at fish, when people are saying like, "Oh, this is a 12-inch bluegill," like you don't realize how big that is.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
30 pounds? 30
Yeah.
pounds is
Yeah, like
Oh
a
my gosh,
30-pound blue cat. Like, I don't think I even realize how big that is in
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. Yep. It's hard to have that true respect for that size of fish until you're actually weighing it and holding. You're like, oh my gosh, that thing is a monster.
I think, would I love to catch a 50
Sure.
in the kayak?
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
For now, my goal is like 30. If
Yeah.
I can hit a 30,
Yeah.
but the funny thing is,
How you
I
gonna
wouldn't
measure-
weigh
yeah.
it. I wouldn't
Sure.
know.
How's he going to measure it from the kayak?
Yeah. Right.
How would you? You can't.
I feel like if I looked at a fish like, that's got to be a 30.
That's a big one.
Like, can I curl this fish with one hand? No. Okay, it's over 30 pounds.
You're going to have to
Throw
catch
it
a
back.
50-pounder to say, okay, this is at least a 30.
Yeah.
That's what's going to end up happening.
And that'd be fine.
And that's fine. No, that's true. It's
sure.
funny, though.
For sure.
But I still caught it was over 20, by the way.
I don't know. It's
See?
like
Here we go again.
15, then
Come
20,
on.
then 30.
It was pretty close to 30, dude. It was way bigger than my leg. So I wasn't recording then.
First blue cat he ever caught, it was 30 pounds.
It was
at
pretty
the
damn
time.
close.
He was?
It was
Yeah.
as big as my fat leg.
It's a good way to start, though.
It was so. The only person who saw it was
Did it
freaking
smash?
Denny.
Did it smash it? Hit the bait hard?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
it was
what
the
I
only
love
one I
about-
caught all day.
They
It was
they all hit the bait
Oh,
hard.
that's what
But
that's what I love about blues.
it was my birthday weekend. Everybody's catching. I didn't catch shit all weekend. This guy caught at least over. I don't even know. He probably lost count. Denny was catching. Everybody was
Danny
catching.
caught a huge one.
But
Yeah.
that's-
Biggest fish of the trip.
Mine was close to that. That's why I'm trying to tell you. See,
I didn't see it, so I don't know,
See?
man.
But and then Bo was catching. But I
Bo
didn't,
caught a pretty big
I didn't think
one.
of this because I didn't know blues that well, and I was like, man, I just got to get it back in the water. I was like, I didn't even think about because I didn't have a camera on me. I wasn't recording then.
Yeah.
I was like, man. I should have just tied like Bo did, because Bo, put him on a leader and then, or on a stringer, and then just
Bo paddled
all the way to
with
him,
this
take a
big-ass
picture of me.
fish in tow.
But I didn't. I was like, man, Denny, look at this.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
super excited. Look at that. I'm
Yeah.
screaming, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no camera. But I gotta let it back in. I don't want to. I don't want to
you
harm it.
You forget that it's a live animal
Yeah.
that's got to go
I-
back on the
Yeah,
water.
see, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
Denny, the guy with 2 cameras on his kayak.
Yeah.
I guess I could have asked him too to take a picture. Like, somebody want to take a picture, but they were kind of. I mean, they weren't. Man, that sucks. That's why I'm like, at this point, I always recording now.
One of
whenever
my
I fish.
favorite catfish videos or moments was when we were down fishing in that one spot, and Kit hung out for a while after everybody else had kind of ducked out and he was catching cats, and the one cat he caught down there, he could barely get it back down the hole. It had its fins out. He's trying to sit there and get it back through the hole. That was a fun one to watch.
That's a good problem.
It just barely got through.
That's
barely.
a good problem.
Yeah,
That's a good problem.
yeah, but that was a fun time.
So, just kind of trailing back, curious. So some of your customers, you gave them GPS spots. That's crazy because I've never heard of that. So you did that, so that's awesome.
I figure they pay the money. I'm going to show them the spots that we fish.
So curious, have you ever seen those spots get blown up? Or do you see more people go there now more than usual?
No, I mean, depending on the trip, it all really depends on the trip that we do. I will tell you the walleye trips that I've done in terms of the river, I run kind of what I call a circuit. We start in one area and we kind of hit, 4 or 5 different spots depending on how the bite is. They're not secret spots. I mean, they're relatively community holes. We might hit 1 or 2 that are a little bit off the beaten path. But there's some community holes that produce at different times of year. So like I'm not trying to necessarily keep those hidden because there's some of those that are like they already know about them anyways. We're just going to go down there and see if they can get on some fish. There are a couple that I share with them that are a little bit off the beaten path that aren't, community spots. But most of the people I take out are, I would say, closer to a casual angler than a hardcore angler anyway. Gotcha. So they're not the type that's going to go out there anyways and all the time and bring their friends and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, there's been times that we've gone to community spots that can be hot and they've been dead. So it's not like just because you go to a community spot or a spot that's more well known is gonna always produce, because that's not the case.
For sure.
Because there's a spot that all of us know that can produce some monsters, but it's also a spot that can be dead and you can be there for 6 hours and not catch anything. And it's just kind of the luck of the draw of what happens.
I think most seasoned anglers, I think they got too much pride to pay. Like,
I can figure that out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I guess unless they really wanted one of your spots, they would do it. But I feel I don't want to say average, but the seasoned anglers, is like, I don't need a.
No, I would say most of the clients I take out are the guys that I just don't have the time to put in the extra work.
Yep.
So let me spend some money, learn some things, and catch some fish. I've had a client in the past that we went out ice fishing, and he just wanted to know how to target bass and crappies. That's what we did. We drove an hour outside of town, fished a lake that had a perfect setup for a bass and crappie bite, and we killed it. And I showed him, hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what we're gonna do. This is the kind of stuff we're gonna use. And it worked out, and he learned that piece of the puzzle, right? So, hey, now next time I go ice fishing and I'm on a lake that's got a basin, which they all do, but one that's more of kind of an obvious basin that I can pick out on a map, this is what I'm going to do and try to catch fish. So it's all about what people want, especially with ice fishing. One of the first questions I ask people is, do you want to fish a specific lake because it's close to you and get better at that lake, or do you want to catch a specific species? Because if you want to catch a specific species, we might drive a little way to get away from pressure so that you can have more success and catch more numbers. If you want to get good at Big Creek, then let's go to Big Creek, right? And I'll show you, this is what I'm doing at Big Creek, this is what I'm doing here, this is what I'm looking for, this is the kind of stuff I'm targeting. Doesn't mean that we're going to kill it, but we can talk about why I'm fishing these different areas and what you can do to be successful when you go out. Now, you got to still keep in mind, fishing is fishing. So just because you learn these things, you might go out a week later and it might suck. I mean, that is fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, we always talk about time on the water, and I feel like, well, that kind of evens the playing field. Okay, I'm going to pay this guy. That kind of, I'm saving time by having this guy that fishes more often than I do to take me out.
Yep. The one thing I will say that I try to do to maybe, I don't want to say separate myself, but to make me a little bit more unique is one thing, because I do so much traveling to fish, a lot of times when I go to other areas, I pay for a guide. because I want to know what it is they're doing, and I want to have the most success on a body of water that I don't get to spend a ton of time on. So I've gone on a lot of guide trips with a lot of different guys, some at the top of the industry and some guys you've never heard of. And one thing that I built my service around is, what I don't love is when somebody takes you out to a spot, puts you down, gives you bait, and says, "Here you go." And 4 hours later, comes in and says, "How'd you do?" Like that's not what I'm about. Like, I don't want to go say, "Hey, here's our spot. Here's what we're doing. I hope you catch fish." My goal is, in those 4 hours, like, we're gonna try as many things as we can. We're gonna try different areas to make you be successful. Like, I'm gonna put in those 4 hours. I'm going to work for you those 4 hours. Like, I'm trying different tactics. We're trying different spots. If we're not successful, it's not because I didn't try to get you fish.
Right.
And that's one thing that I struggle with, is when people are taking other people's money and they say, "Well, this has been a good spot for the last 3 days. I'm going to drop you in a shack, give you a heater and some bait, and what happens. You know, like,
Does that happen?
Oh yeah.
often?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna call people out, but
sure.
I fish with guys at the top of the ice industry that have done that kind of stuff. And as a client, especially on really good bodies of water where there's a variety of different species, I would want to ask my client, "Hey, the walleye bite's not great. Are you interested in going after pike? Are you interested in whitefish? Or do you want to try something different?" Just to see what that client wants, rather than, "Oh, I just assumed that you came up here for walleye, and we're going to put you on some minnow heads and a buckshot. I hope you catch them, and if you don't, it's a tough day." You know, like,
Wow.
that, to me, that just is not customer service. But the nice thing about that is, by doing all these different guide trips, I've learned what I like and what I don't like in a guide service, and so I can tailor that to my customers. One other thing that I do, right, wrong, or indifferent, is I offer a skunk rate. So if I go out there and we try hard and it doesn't happen and we don't catch a fish, I give you a discounted price. You know, I'm still working just as hard either way, but I realize that you're putting in your money and your investment because you want a good experience and you want to catch fish. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I mean, I can't guarantee that, but I do at least respect your money and where you're investing it, and give you a little cut back on that. So, especially because once again, it's Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we got to consider the body of waters that we're fishing, right? Like, I'm not up on Devil's Lake. I'm not up on Mille Lacs. I'm not up on Lake of the Woods, where it's like, "Oh, I catch walleye in my sleep up there," you know?
See, I kind of have a confession to make.
Uh-oh.
So,
There we go.
But after listening to you, you know, people have asked me to take them out fishing and
Yeah.
stuff, and then I'm thinking, like, what if I was a guide? Like,
Yeah.
do I want to be a guide? Like, is this something I want to do? Like, listening to you, I don't know. I think I'd be a terrible guide.
I will tell you one thing about guiding is that customer service piece, I think, makes a big difference. Is if you're not catching fish, how are you interacting with your client, right? Like, are you still talking to them?
It's
Are you
their
still
it's
their
still their experience.
Yeah, are
Exactly.
you educating them? Are you learning more about who they are as people? Are they having a fun time? Like, just because you're not catching fish doesn't mean you can't have a good time. Like, we've all been fishing where we've had bad days, but we've still had a good time with our buddies, right?
Right.
So what are you doing to ensure, whether you're catching fish or not, you're having a good time? The days you are catching fish, that's easy. Hey, I'm rebaiting you up. We're switching out the lures. You're catching fish. Great. This is easy work. The days that's tougher is when you're not. Like, hey, what am I going to try differently? Where are we going to go next? How am I going to keep them engaged? You know, and especially when you start adding kids to the equation on trips.
Yeah.
Kids are different than adults. How do I keep the kid engaged versus the adult client? Two totally different demographics.
Very true.
I mean, it's not anything I'm setting out to do or anything, but you know, it's in the back of my mind. Like,
Sure.
oh, do I want a guide?
Sure.
Like, would I be a good guide? Like,
Yeah.
how would I handle
Yeah.
this situation?
Yep.
Or maybe I could be like, hey, you're just gonna go fishing with me. This is what we're gonna do.
They just charge a discounted rate, fool.
Well, it's all what you want out of it too. I mean, there's times in the middle or late July where people are saying, "Hey, I want to go do a walleye trip," and I'll say, "Hey, you know what? It's your money. We're gonna do what you want to do. What I'm telling you is I really wouldn't recommend taking your money right now. It's a really tough bite. We just had a shad hatch, it's a tough bite. I'd rather take you catfishing, or I'd say let's wait till the spring. If you want to go, it's your prerogative. But like I'm not out to get rich from guiding. I'm not out to do it as a full-time job. I'm out to help people if they don't want or don't have the time to spend to learn how to catch specific fish.
You should just do the kit tag along. Like, I ain't guaranteeing shit.
Like, you're gonna go fishing with me.
That's it.
Just do the tag.
Just
You can just do a tag
it's called
along
the
service.
kit tag along.
There you go.
This is my rate. The kit tag along. You fishing with me.
You just got to be okay with people seeing where you're at and
that's-
knowing that's you.
Yeah, your spot
and-
or whatever
yeah.
the case may be, and you'd be like, you know what? This is it. I ain't teaching you shit.
Yeah.
Just watch what I'm doing.
Watch what I'm
I'll
doing.
give you some lures.
And
Right here.
It's
Try
like-
this.
It's called the kit tag along.
There you go.
That's not a bad idea.
But at the same time, like, man, my day job's like, I do not want to be here.
This could be just your part-time gig.
Well, that's the other thing
it.
for guiding for me is like, based on what I do for a living, I don't have a ton of time to do a lot of pre-fishing.
For sure.
And so that's why I adjust with the seasons typically is I just don't have the true time between two kids and a job to go out and pre-fish for walleye year round. Like I just don't.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go with what I know is a good bite and what is consistent. So come April, I'm going to tell you guys, hey, let's go catch some spawning crappies. We're going to kill it. And if you don't want to do that, okay, that's fine. But if you want to go out, have a great time, and find a successful trip, and we can go catch crappies. Springtime, we can go catch walleyes. I mean, they're spawning, they're moved up. Summertime, we go catch cats. I mean, we just move with what the bite is so that people can be successful.
For sure.
So as a guy, do you care if your clients keep fish or?
I do what the client wants to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have my own personal set of beliefs, but if the client wants to keep that fish and it's within legal limits, we'll keep that fish and I'll clean it for them.
Okay.
And I'm not there to preach and tell them what they should or shouldn't do. They're paying their money. It's up to them. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, you should keep that fish.
See, I think if, like, let's say I was a guy, and you know me, I like throwing back.
Sure.
You know, let's say I'm out with a client and we catch a 15-pound wiper.
Yeah.
They want to take it home. I'm like, no, you gotta throw that back.
Sure.
It's called a kit tag along, fool. I keep telling you, man. You're not there to teach. You just like come and fish with me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna tell you what you should do.
And that's the thing is I've fished with guides on two totally different ends of the spectrum when it comes just even to that. Like I fished out on Lake Erie where you're catching 26-inch walleye on the regular, and those guys are so about you getting your limit and getting your meat and getting out that like they don't even want to pause to take a picture. I'm like, dude, I don't hardly ever catch a 26-inch walleye. Can we stop for a second and get a picture of this? Like
For sure.
if you guys have not fished Lake Erie, walleye mecca. I'm telling you, it is a whole different level of walleye fishing. But they're just like, oh man, we catch those on a regular. Just throw that in the box and
Like,
keep
come
moving.
on, man. We got like 30 more of those to catch.
But
Let's
I've
go.
also
Fun.
fished with guys where it's like, hey man, we don't keep fish. We just do this because we want to catch these fish and release them and have a good time. Okay.
Cool.
But I fished with guys on totally two different ends of the spectrum.
All right, you've been empty for a while. We'll do one last segment. We'll do a
one
quick
last round.
one last round.
All right.
I want to talk a little bit more. We'll come back here. I want to talk a little bit more about 515 fishing, about
Yep.
the group and everything,
Yep,
and,
sure.
and where it's going and where it's been, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Awesome. There we
Let's
go.
go refill, guys. Just FYI.
Be careful what I say.
Now we'll edit it. We edit stuff out. Don't worry about it, guys. All right, everybody. We are back. I'm drinking. Was it Cloud 9? Is that
Cloud
what it is?
City.
Cloud City.
It's
Cloud
the New
City.
England IPA.
This mint cookie porter or whatever it is, it's solid. Very solid. If you like the dark stuff, good stuff.
Oh, you're gonna have to give a vote for that because they're doing a competition. It was between that one and the peach.
Oh, really?
Peach City.
Okay. Yeah, this is
Peach pie.
Peach pie.
Solid.
Sheesh.
Peach City pie.
Peach.
Peach pie city.
How many beers are we in?
Peach
Cheers.
pie.
This is number 3.
Cloud.
Go.
New England IPA, guys. This is probably the most amount of craft beer I've drank.
But yeah, this one's solid.
That's good.
Real solid.
See, I'm not a huge stout guy, so
No?
I guess
I love stouts.
I only drank one, so I can only vote for one.
How can you say you're not a stout guy if you've only drank one?
No. I mean, I mean, I've only
Tonight.
drank one of the two beers that are competing.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like you drank one stout and you're not a stout.
No,
like,
I can't vote for one
Gotcha.
or the other because I
Yeah.
only drank one of the
True.
beers.
True.
Stouts are amazing during the winter year.
Sure.
It's like a meal almost in a sense.
Well, that's what
to
I'm
me.
saying though. This one is not as heavy as a traditional stout. Because I hear where you're coming from on that.
Yeah.
Really good flavor on this one though. Really good flavor. Like solid.
Mint. I don't know if I ever had a minty beer. Is it like minty?
It tastes like a Thin Mint.
A thin mint.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might have to try that.
I think
before I go home.
a lot of people would be down for that.
Yeah. So if you like Thin Mints and you're not afraid of stouts, it's a solid choice.
We do have new listeners. We're Fishing Kit and myself, we really love craft beer and supporting local breweries and everything. If you have not tried stouts, definitely do. Don't
be afraid.
Yes, that's the thing. A lot of people are afraid, like, oh my God, it's so dark, it's going to be just strong as shit.
It's Guinness.
No. Same thing with IPAs. FYI, guys. IPAs, it takes a use to build up your tolerance. Keep in mind, just
like starting like when you're young, first drink of beer, right?
but the thing is with
Yeah,
IPAs,
like a regular beer to
Yes.
an 18-year-old.
Yes, right.
100%.
Yeah.
But the thing is with IPAs, just so you guys know,
I mean,
if
21-year-old.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
just so you guys do know, because it's hoppy, IPAs does not mean the alcohol content is higher. There's a lot of hoppy beers out there that has maybe 5% alcohol content. A lot of them. So just don't be afraid of the hoppy beers.
Try new things.
Slowly build up your tolerance. So I do not recommend going out there doing a double IPA. If you've never had an IPA, if you're going from a Busch Light,
Trying to
Bud
prove
Light, yeah, if you're going from a Coors Light and you go, you know what, I want to try craft beer, I'm going to do the double IPA, don't do it. Because you will hate yourself.
Oh, man. I remember, well, actually, my buddy Bo, before I was all into the craft beer thing, I was a Bud Light guy, and Bo, he was kind of a hipster back, a few years ago. So he'd be drinking all these weird beers, go over to his house. And I remember he had I think it was a Voodoo Ranger.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, that's a double IPA.
It's
right?
not rough. Yeah. It's close to. Yeah, I think it might be.
I think it's a double IPA.
Or a black IPA, or one of those. It's hoppy. It's
it's
very
like-
bitter.
It's way full, far side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
You don't want to jump into a craft beer like that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I was like, oh my God, like this is
What am I drinking?
terrible. I'm like, ugh. But I got drunk.
And he drinks and he's like, yeah, this is good.
Even you, Derek, you were talking about you don't like hoppy. Like my recommendation in Fishing Cake backs up. Try session IPAs or hazy IPAs
Hazy.
first.
New England.
New England. Try those first.
Not
Do-
super hoppy.
Yeah.
A little hop, but
Okay.
not super hoppy.
Yeah.
Now, why is it called a hazy IPA or a New England IPA? Educate me.
New England is because I think they out in the New England area, like they've created when they were brewing over in that area, like their style. It's not as crazy hoppy.
Okay.
It's a little
So it's an origination from that area.
for that because the West Coast IPA it's hoppier.
Sure.
It's definitely hoppier, but it has a more citrusy taste to it.
Okay.
I like the citrusy
Yeah,
stuff.
that's more West Coast. At least I feel that way. And then was it a hazy IPA? It has obviously if you look at the beer itself, it has a lot of body, and it's darker.
Okay.
Like it looks like almost milkish.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like they're unfiltered.
Yes,
hazies.
that's the word.
Yeah, they're
Sorry.
kind of cloudy.
Gotcha.
They're cloudy.
Hence the
Okay.
hazy.
Cloudy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's it's less unfiltered, I guess,
Gotcha.
in a way.
You mean more unfiltered?
More unfiltered. Yeah, more unfiltered. Jeez. But yeah,
He's a few in.
yeah, we are a few.
Me personally, I prefer the more citrusy IPAs like the
Yeah.
New Englands.
Yep.
And hazies are
West Coast. I love
West
West
Coast,
Coast.
yeah.
I love West Coast. I
the
mean,
citrusy, the more citrusy
Yeah.
ones I really like.
Gotcha.
because my wife yells at me all the time. God, it smells so amazing, and she goes when she tastes it like, ah! because it's the hoppiness. She's not used to it.
Yeah.
So she's just like, oh my God, that smells like the most greatest drink of all time.
Now,
But then
is that something you guys do on a regular? Like, do you smell your drink before you?
I do.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
I do.
I don't know if I've ever done that with a beer.
When I'm tasting a beer, I'll smell it. But if I know what I got,
Yeah.
I'll just drink it.
Sure.
So
I don't think I've ever done that.
So this is the reason why when you drink a beer, I usually drink a beer out of a cup. I always do. I mean, as much as I can.
When you say cup, you mean like a glass?
A glass.
Okay.
A cup. Sorry.
Sippy cup.
I'm specifying.
Sorry,
like we
go
talking
ahead.
plastic cup.
No,
glass.
it could be a
cup?
plastic cup as long as it's open so it can aerate and
Okay.
like you just said, because I love to smell and that's part of the process of tasting the taste of the beer.
Sure.
Is to smell it and everything. It's
So you're like a sommelier when it comes to
I guess,
wine.
I don't know. Yes, in a way.
All right.
In a sense, yes, it's
You
that
know,
way.
Swirl it around a little bit.
Not that extravagant.
Well, not yeah.
It's more like
It's more like a.
and swig.
Oh, okay.
it's like a sniff.
Pretty
Gotcha.
much.
More like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So you're not throwing in the swirls.
No,
No, we don't do that shit.
We are not swirling.
Sorry, we're not that bougie.
I only do that when I drink a new beer I haven't tried before.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
once if I know what beer I'm getting, I just it's just straight to the dome.
But
Yeah.
it enhances the drink. Like when you can smell it and you drink it, it enhances. Just like when you're eating food.
Yeah.
You know, you like to smell
your-
what
you
it
sniff
smells.
sniff your food, too?
Yeah, you don't.
I mean, I don't think so. Like as you're cooking it,
That's a good question. Do
as
you
you're
sniff
cooking your food,
Yeah,
you're
you're like-
smelling your food,
'Kay.
right? Like that is when you're taking in the experience. But when I get it on my plate, like I'm not like bowl of pasta.
Well, let's
no.
say let's say you didn't cook your food, so you didn't have a
Yes.
chance to smell it.
And you went out.
You
to
went to
eat,
a restaurant.
and it's a fancy restaurant. They're supposed to have the
smell it?
bomb food. What?
No,
You don't at least. Okay, it could be. I'm not saying.
I mean, I might
sniff
smell it as they deliver it.
Yeah.
Like hey, they put it on my table. I'm like, I smell it up here, but I'm not like going down like
What?
no.
Am I wrong for that? I do. I mean, I'm not like.
I think subconsciously.
I mean,
you
I'd be
do it.
curious to hear what people.
I mean, I
Okay.
get
What
people-
okay. I see
Okay.
where you're coming from. Like, I don't go to a restaurant like.
Yeah, I don't do that. I'm with you.
But I think subconsciously you smell your food before you eat it.
Well, as they put it in front of you though.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
aroma is just
Yeah.
naturally.
Yeah,
hitting
you're
you.
like.
But you don't sit there and like, oh, that smells a bomb. You don't.
No,
What?
I don't think I take a moment. I don't think so.
I do. I'm not gonna. I do.
If it's, I guess if it's something that's like new to me and it's super aromatic, because I mean, different foods have different levels of aroma, right?
Yes.
Like chicken and noodles. If I'm eating that, that's just like a comfort food. I'm not really smelling a ton. That's just like, oh, it's chicken and noodles. I'm gonna dig in.
But if it's a restaurant that's like supposed to have
But
the
if it's got
best
a-
chicken noodle soup in the world, you tell me you're not gonna sniff it?
I don't think so.
What?
Now, if it's something that's like got a lot of seasonings and there's a lot of aroma,
Because it's the best chicken noodle soup. Yeah. It has all the, you would
don't
sniff
think so.
You
I
would-
don't think so.
I would smell it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be like, I got to take a look.
they'll put it in front of me and I'll go, that smells good. But I'm not like consciously
Okay.
making an effort.
I could be
to
wrong.
smell it.
I'm gonna smell it, man. I don't know. I could be off. I'm like,
I think
Oh,
it's more
yeah.
about being in the kitchen and smelling stuff as it's cooking, like the process of
It's
it.
all part of it.
I
Yeah.
get that point. Yeah, no. I
Just like
understand
Thanksgiving dinner, right? Like, man, that smells good. Like I
But
smell that stuff.
Smell plays a huge part in taste.
That. I think so.
But yeah, I don't disagree with that. I just don't know that I consciously make an effort to smell my food before I eat it.
Man, I might be the bad guy. I do, man. I can't help it. I just.
And I'd be curious. I mean, I'd be curious to hear what other people do because, like, I feel like most of us. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like most of us, like, they get that food and they're like, "Hey, I'm familiar with this. I'm just gonna chow."
That's funny. There's a story of at work. So there's this girl. She enjoys her food. Okay,
Oh my God,
let's
you
put it that way.
you
She
put it
enjoys her
wrong.
food. I'm not gonna say any names, but this is at work. She enjoys her food. So she's warming up ribs or something like barbecued ribs.
Yeah,
So she warms it up.
yeah.
She takes it out of the microwave and she takes like a big whiff, like
Right in the face?
yeah, well, she's holding it right here, like.
Holy shit.
And then our HR lady, she goes up to her like, "Don't these look really good?"
She
And-
goes to the HR lady.
No, well, the HR lady walked into the break room at that
Uh-huh.
time, and asked her like, "Hey, don't these look really good?" And the HR lady's like, But the HR lady is a vegetarian, so she's kind of like
it's
grossed out.
like offensive to her.
Yeah, she's like grossed out.
Yeah.
Did she know that she was a vegetarian?
No, she didn't know.
Oh, well, I can't hate.
But okay, so to prove my point though, like you're driving up to a barbecue place, right? And first thing you notice is that smell of the smoker. You're
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, man,
Amazing.
that brisket and stuff. I can
Yes.
smell that. That's that first experience.
Yes.
But when they come out with the pulled pork, I'm not like, oh man, because that whole time
Okay.
I've already been smelling
Yeah,
that.
I'll agree with you. I'm not there like.
Or if I'm
smelling
outside
the
and
food.
somebody's grilling
okay.
a steak in the neighborhood, I'm like, dang, that smells
Okay.
good. But like if I'm grilling my steak, I don't go up to my steak
Yeah.
and go,
No, okay.
oh, that smells.
Hold on. I'm not bringing it up to my nose and like, it's on my table right here.
Yeah.
And I'm a good,
But you're taking a conscious moment
yes,
to have a moment with that food and smell it.
yes, I do, but not like up in here.
Sure.
I do. I'll go right here, like maybe 15, 20 inches away.
Yeah, see, I don't.
I will take a whiff.
Nah, man, I'm
I'll do it with new beers because I don't smell the beer until it's in the cup and they're like,
But what about your food though? Like if you just fried up a fresh batch of walleye, right? You consciously smelling that walleye every time you're doing a fresh batch of walleye.
not every
Hey,
time.
or are you just like, I'm just gonna chow into these walleye?
But
maybe
it's different when you're cooking because like you're just saying, you're inhaling, you're smelling the
process.
But if I go to a restaurant,
Uh-huh.
if they bring out a nice if I ordered a fried fish or if angry catfish,
Yeah.
if you guys haven't been to Iowa,
Yeah.
we'll have to show you guys talk about angry catfish.
not
It's
Pope,
not
south
Pope.
side of Des Moines.
We're not
Probably the
sponsored.
best catfish you'll ever eat.
We're not sponsored by them, but it's the greatest angry catfish you'll ever eat.
It's
But
the greatest catfish you'll ever eat.
Where
I
at?
think so.
Not Pope.
Not Pope.
On the south side.
It's
Okay.
a Thai dish. It's
Okay.
a Thai
Yep.
Thai restaurant. Now, do I take a whiff? Hell yes. When it comes out, I can smell the seasoning. I can smell the juices. I can smell the aroma and everything. I have to. I'm not saying I put it up to my face.
Okay, but a dish like angry catfish sounds like it has a good amount of aromas.
Yeah, there's
Yes,
a bunch of
it does.
aromas.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
but I'm talking something that's a little bit more of a subtle smell. You're still taking that time to smell that
Probably not.
dish.
Probably not.
'Cause not everything you cook has a ton of
No.
aromas and
Not
spices.
everything. If we're going to a fancy restaurant,
Like
yes.
you're smelling your mashed potatoes.
Did I make it?
If it's
Is this-
garlicky.
If it's a garlic
But
mashed
that-
potato,
okay, but that's an aroma. That's different though.
That's true.
I'm talking straight. I'm talking straight,
get what you're
straight
saying.
mashed potatoes
So-
with some butter.
Sorry to our listeners and everybody. Dude, we totally digress for like about
Get off
15, 20
topic.
minutes.
Garlic, mashed potatoes, or nothing. I
Yes.
don't want it.
Oh, I agree.
I'm with
I
you
agree.
on that.
With the skins.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah?
My
Yes.
daughter's
Yes.
gonna. You know what? I think you went up a notch on my daughter on Damon's scale because she's the garlic mashed potato queen.
Oh, dude. I mean,
You went up.
I say garlic mashed potatoes or not, but I'll eat regular.
Oh yeah.
But man, garlic mashed
Oh,
potatoes. It just
another
takes,
level.
Yeah, it just takes
See?
it. It just takes it up so far.
I'm with you, but you gotta do it right though. You gotta cook the garlic right.
I'm curious to. I find it interesting that you spend the time to really experience that because I
Yeah.
do think that makes it a richer experience. I just don't think that I take the time on a regular basis to enjoy my food to that level. I'm just kind of curious to hear what.
Maybe that's why I'm
everybody else does.
fat. But I love because when the food comes, like I kind of, I appreciate good dining.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's moments where, what the hell? And then you eat it like, yep, it smells, it tastes like it smells. Don't get me wrong. But there's moments where, and you eat it like, it's a little bit different.
Okay, you go to a fast food joint. This is the last time. The last
Go
time.
ahead.
This, okay, you go to McDonald's, right?
Yep.
You just got yourself a double cheese. You taking a sniff of that double cheese before you take a bite into it?
Most likely not.
Okay.
I think I would smell the fries before I smell
Yeah.
the burger.
But that's just because they hand you the bag and you just
Yeah, you
naturally
just
smell it.
naturally
You're not
smell.
like sniffing them fries.
But I'm
pretty sure some people do.
Some people do, but I'm talking about if I go out and eat. But
Yeah.
this is the thing, though. I'm not a huge fast food.
You're talking about more of an experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
or just a nice restaurant.
Yeah.
But if it's like you just said, is it McDonald's? Am I going to take a sniff? No, but you can just smell the fries or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be.
All
No,
right.
I'm not gonna be that guy.
Good conversation topic.
Anyways, we were talking about smelling beer. We kind of went off the rails.
You think?
Yeah.
Anyways, so your claim to fame is the 515 fishing, I would say.
Yeah. Yep.
Tell us what is it like running a social media platform fishing group? The highs and lows, ups and downs.
Yeah.
Kind of walk us through that.
I would say the highs is it can be really rewarding, and it gives you an opportunity to design what you want out of a group or a fishing platform. And there's just a lot of creative opportunities for you. I would say one thing that I pride myself on for 515 Fishing is we do a lot of different things, whether it's webinars and having people on to talk about different fishing topics, to swap meets, to just a variety of different things. That's something I really like that kind of separates the 515 page from just, hey, here's another page where I post pictures of fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like anybody can open up a group and it's just like, hey, well, let's have some conversation and let's post pictures. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I wanted 515 Fishing to be kind of to another level, and something that people are like, I go to 515 because there are these things. There are those drawings where I can win a product that I might normally pay $500 for, and I got it for $20. Or I might go to 515 because they've got a swap meet every few months, and I can connect with other anglers and get gear. Or I can go to 515 because they've got different seminars, quarterly throughout the year, and somebody's talking about muskie fishing. I've never done that before, and I can learn from somebody that does that on a regular and not have to pay a single dime to learn from that. So, I mean, those are the high points of doing something like that, and just getting to connect with different people. The low points is, to be honest with you, babysitting adults. When it comes to people being disrespectful to one another, when it comes to people, spam's huge lately. There's just a lot of fake accounts out there, and sometimes you want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but you're not sure. So you're like, well, do I approve this post or do I not? Even the fact that I have to approve posts. Like when I first started 515 Fishing, I didn't approve posts, right? Like I just said, hey, I'm going to put my trust in the members of the group that they're going to post things that are appropriate and all these things, because you put your faith in humanity, and that ends up kicking you in the butt.
Yeah, mistakes were made.
Mistakes.
Yeah,
You
well,
trust in humankind.
Well, you
What's
learn.
wrong with you,
You
Derek?
learn, right? So now I have to approve every single post that comes through 515 Fishing, and that has its own pros and cons, right? Like, the pro is I see every single thing that goes on the page. The con is I can't sit there and watch for every single post to come through and approve it in real time.
Yeah.
So somebody might say, hey, can I go fishing tonight? And I go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, and let's say this is at like 8 p.m., maybe I didn't check it before I went to bed, and that post doesn't get approved till the next morning. So the negative is that person doesn't get that feedback in real time like they were hoping.
Oh, okay.
But I want to be that sole person to control the content on my page, because it is, in my mind, an outward representation of me. The same goes for drawings. For anybody that sees the drawings on the page and is interested in that, we have a very, I would say, a dedicated group that is invested in those drawings, that does them on a regular. The thing with those drawings is those drawings are not all equipment owned by me. A lot of times I'm working with different manufacturers. I'm working with different anglers. Somebody might reach out to me and say, hey, Derek, I've got this. Would you be interested in putting this up on the page for a drawing? And we have our own details of how we make that work. But ultimately, at the end of the day, that is an extension of me to make sure that person that won that drawing gets that product and is happy with it. So if I take, let's say, a rod from Kit, right? Like Kit wants to do a raffle for a rod, and I say, hey, cool, all right. And then all of a sudden, Kit does not get that rod to that person that won. That looks bad on me as the person representing 515 Fishing. So there's a risk that I take in putting those items up, and I've had some bad experiences in the past. The good thing though is you learn from those things, right? And you adjust based on those things. But that's why you put in different parameters and structures in place for things like that. I'm really happy with the 515 page. It's grown more than I ever would have expected it to grow. I like to think that it's a well-respected page that people use, not only for information and sharing pictures, but for the other things that we talked about. And I just want to continue to be that. My goal, though, is that it is a family-friendly page, right? So, like, if there are teenagers that are anglers, they can go on that page and they don't have to worry about seeing a bunch of profanity or guys arguing with each other or things like that. So that is something I have a pretty tight knit on. But it does take time to go through posts and read comments, right?
Sure.
Like, all of a sudden you get on a post that's a hot topic and you got 74 comments to go through. I mean, you're like, oh man. That's the negative. Like, I don't want to go through 74 comments.
Yeah, you don't have any moderators.
No, but the reason I don't is because I have to have my utmost faith that those moderators are going to do exactly what I would do.
Right.
And that's the reason why I don't have a moderator, is because I guess personally I don't trust somebody enough to know exactly what's in my mind and what I would approve and not approve.
But I think to me, when I go through your group page and everything on Facebook, you created this for the right reasons. And when I say that, you created it for what you were just saying. Mm-hmm. Like the fishing community, whether like you're just saying like you want to post pictures, you want to post a hot bite, you want to post like your raffle and everything, or educational.
Even conversation.
It's a group.
Yeah.
That's technically what the Facebook group thing should be about. Mm-hmm. A lot of, obviously, groups or pages out there is just specific to one thing. So I kind of like what you do, but so when you there's always drama. So how do you deal with that shit? Because I can only imagine how many messages you guys are wondering. I could care less about when you guys text me or whatever. I don't care. When I have time to look at it, I got 4 daughters, man. If you message me, if we get a chance to look at it, I'll look at it. But I can only imagine how many messages you get, like, why didn't you let my post go? Or why did you delete my... How do you deal with all that?
Kick this guy out of the group.
Oh, yeah. Kick it. I don't like that guy. He posted... He hated the Chicago Bears. I don't like you when you do shit like that.
He did me wrong. Why is he still in the group?
That's why there is no Fishing Kit Facebook group. I do not want to deal with that
right?
shit.
So, no, I get you on that. So, how do you deal with that? And
so, the biggest thing when it comes to other anglers is I try to just make them know that I don't want to align myself one way or the other. It's not that I don't disagree or agree with their stance or their opinion on a subject, an angler, etc. It's I don't want to be associated one way or the other, or my group associated one way or the other with a specific topic. You could use a topic of keeping fish, right? Mm-hmm. That's a topic that's going to have debate to the end of time. And the thing is, I have no problem with somebody putting that topic for debate on the page. Like, hey, what do you think about creating a slot limit for crappies, right? Like, that is a fair question to ask anglers that has room for good debate on either side. Another debate topic that's been super hot. Should we get rid of the dams in Des Moines? Why or why not, right? The problem is it creates a lot of passion from people and a lot of emotion. And when you get emotional, you say things that are disrespectful, hurtful, and not family friendly. And those are the things that I have to micromanage. And I'm all for healthy debate. Like, I think that everybody has a fair shake at their own opinion and their own way of seeing things, whether or not that is, whether I should keep a full limit every single day that I'm out fishing, or I should CPR every single time I'm out. Everybody has their reason for believing what they believe, but you can share that in a respectful manner. The thing that's tough is once you allow you to post that post, I know I'm going to have to police that. Like, I already know. Like, all right, Grandy's gone and put this post up, It's a fair conversation point, not something I should decline. I know I'm going to have to babysit this post for the next 3 days.
Keep every 15-pound wiper, guys.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Was
a
that
hot topic on 515 Fishing in
Don't
like
do it. I'm just kidding.
the mid to late spring. I felt like that was something that was talked about for at least a week or two. It was just wipers, right? Like everybody had an opinion on wipers.
Oh, yeah.
How long wipers live, how big wipers get, should you keep wipers? Wipers don't reproduce. I mean, everything you could think of, and everybody has an opinion. I have my own opinion, and that's okay. But how you share that with others, you just have to be
respectful,
cognizant of how others feel. Like you can't be that guy that's like, if you don't let go of every wiper, you suck. You're a douche. I hate you. You know, like come on, man. Like we don't want our next generation of anglers to see that kind of thing and think, oh, that's how I'm supposed to act.
Well, I mean, I'm probably bad for this, but I'm not gonna lie. That shit's entertaining.
Oh, of course it is.
I mean,
of course it is.
I'm not gonna sit here and say like, get rid of it because it's like,
oh, I don't.
get the popcorn out. I kind of like this stuff.
I don't know if either of you are familiar with the wrist setter line of fishing rods.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, but I would just search wrist setter in groups just so I could read the chains of conversations about wrist setters and the founder of wrist setter just so I could see what he would say back to people.
Yeah,
Like,
his
I
problem.
love that stuff.
The problem was he could not take criticism, and he would react to everything, and
Yeah.
that is the worst thing you can do.
But as the person that's playing the police force,
yeah, that's tough.
it takes a lot of time to have to filter through all those things.
Do you see yourself going like, you spend more time policing shit sometimes than you should have, or do you? It's whatever.
It depends. I think it comes and goes in waves. You know, there's
Yeah.
times where something gets super hot and you're on there all the time policing it, and then there's downtimes. I would say that fall to ice transition, kind of like we're in right now, pretty slow time. There's not a lot of posts out there. Most of the posts right now are more, I guess I would call them advertisement type posts, like people trying to sell stuff, people asking questions about ice depth, stuff like that. I
How
mean,
thick is the ice?
Big as the ice.
yeah. Which, you know, at the same time, we joke about that, but there's nothing wrong with that question. I mean, people are asking that question out of safety, which I get, but it is I guess it's kind of annoying because you get that same question every single year at the same time every single year.
But so my thoughts are, if you're that annoyed, just do this. You don't
Yeah.
have to even look at it.
Yeah.
You just go like this.
Yeah, no, it's
Swipe.
a double-edged sword because the drama is entertaining, and
Yes.
it's crazy to think that there's drama in a recreation like
Fishing
fishing
world.
That's so relaxing. So it is entertaining, but it's also frustrating at the same time because, for example, some of the most recent drama when your name is dragged through the mud or put on a smear campaign of sorts, like that's frustrating to you,
Yeah.
and you don't want people to associate you with that, and so you're having to defend yourself. So that's drama that you never wanted or never created, and yet you're on a spot where do you just ignore or do you confront things that are not factual?
Then you might end up like the wrist setter guy.
There you go. You might end up like which is he's pretty infamous. I mean, like, a lot of people know the wrist setter guy. So,
Yeah, just
and there's certain things too. It's like, as an angler, like, do you call people out when you see something that is blatantly unethical or blatantly BS, or do you just let it go? And I feel like everybody kind of falls on their own area on that topic. Some people are just like, hey, he's going to do him. Like it is what it is. I'm not getting in it.
like, if it's something illegal, just call the DNR.
Yeah,
Right,
that's different.
sure.
Yeah,
That's all
Like
Yeah.
when you're seeing
Yeah.
snagging and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
but the morals and ethics,
Yeah, that's a slippery
Sure.
slippery slope.
because
for
you don't
sure.
want to push it. You everybody has different morals and different ethics.
I just say there's not 14, 15-inch perch in Big Creek. Okay.
What?
Yes.
I mean,
I never caught one
I
there.
don't know.
has anybody? I mean, if you've caught a 14 and 15-inch perch in Big Creek, legitimately, I'd love to see it and have that evidence.
I didn't even know they had it there.
They have perch.
They're perch.
They have
They're
perch.
very rare.
I
Yeah, they
have
have
not
perch.
caught one personally.
And, I've seen a couple that I would say were probably 9.5, 10 maybe.
Yeah, I would say 10 is like kind of the upper range from
But-
what I've seen.
But here's the thing: like when we started the show and we talked about survey data, survey data don't lie.
See,
right?
that's what I'm. Yep.
When you've got, and I know DNR, they're not surveying every fish in the lake. Like I get that, right? Like I get that there's a couple monsters swimming around that we're not surveying. I understand that. But when there's not a single perch that's bigger than 9 inches surveyed
At
in
that
Big
location.
Creek, don't tell me that you caught a bucket of 14-inch perch at Big Creek. Like stop.
A bucket. No,
Stop.
I get it. I
You
get
know.
it.
So, but at the same time, like, do you call that out or not? That is totally an individual's opinion. And if you do, be prepared for the drama.
Yeah. But I will say, the survey data is not perfect.
No, it's not.
Like you said, they can't survey every type of fish that's in there.
Right.
Let's say a certain fish likes to.
Might go out there and catch a bowfin.
Yeah. Let's say a certain fish. They
don't like gill nets.
Congregate in a certain depth that they cannot survey.
Yep.
Let's say one of our big reservoirs that I've caught plenty of big wipers in.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the survey data, there's no wipers in there.
Yeah. Yep.
But they're hard to survey in that particular body of water. But generally, they give you basically like a vertical slice of what's in the lake.
Yep.
Yeah. No, we had Jeff on. He explained that, to the detail. Like, we put the net here. It's only going to catch whatever hits this spot at this moment.
Yep.
There's going to be other big fish that could be deeper.
Yep.
And, further away.
Yep. Just because you look at survey data and the biggest surveyed walleye is 22 inches doesn't mean that there's not a 28, 29-inch walleye in the lake. Like,
but
that fish could be in there.
But those surveys do help to, numbers-wise.
Now, is there 20, 29-inchers? Probably not. I mean, you have to take that as one data point, right?
Yeah.
Like, it is a good starting point for you to have a better understanding of the lake, but it's not the gospel. It's just another tool for you to have as you prepare for a trip.
But that survey data has put me on lakes. Let's say walleyes. I was looking for walleyes in particular.
Yeah.
At a certain density, at a certain size.
Yeah.
It put me in an area where I went out there. Like, okay, I don't hear anybody talking about these lakes. Then I go out there and we caught.
Yeah.
Like we had one of our best days of walleyes fishing. Just because I was like, okay, I'm going to go out here because I'm just looking at
because
that
of the survey.
About 2-3 years ago.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, something like that. You might have an idea where.
But no, you're right though. It's like it's one of those things. Use the information to as much as you can.
The tools are out there.
It's a tool. Yeah,
I've fished lakes that I would never ever even knew existed or ever would have fished before, except because I have that data.
Yeah.
There's times that I've looked at that data and go, I didn't even know that lake existed. Guess what? I'm gonna go check it out. Guess what? I'm happy I did.
Yeah.
And so that is a benefit that we have people at the DNR taking time to put those numbers out. That anglers, if you want to get away from 10, 15 minutes in the metro and you're willing to go explore, check out that information because you can have some great days that you didn't even know were possible.
I want to have to check out like the states that are around us.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to check it out. I haven't really spent that time to see how current they are with their data. I'm just curious because I think Iowa's pretty. And
I
up there.
haven't compared a ton. I mean, I would say the two that I look at the most are Iowa and Minnesota, just because those are the two that I probably fish the most. Mm-hmm. And Minnesota is good with their stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, just because we do have Minnesota listeners, if they're just wondering, like,
well,
and
the nice
outdated?
thing, and I'm not here to promote Minnesota. Go to fish to Minnesota waters.
I am.
But are you?
I am.
To Central Iowa. Call up 515 Fishing Guys.
I don't know.
But at the same time, when you're talking, you're only paying $15 to go up there for a day and have fun. Like, you're weighing that. Is it worth it or not? It's better than paying $30, $40 for a non-resident license for a day to go up and do it, So it's like, okay, well, do I drive 2 hours to Clear Lake and fish that? Or do I drive 2 hours and 30 minutes and go fish one of 6 other lakes that have just as good of fishing, if not better?
For sure.
With a tenth of the people.
That's true.
Okay.
So, because, I mean, let's be real right now. Like, where is all the ice fishing happening right now in Iowa, if any? Clear Lake, I don't even
northern Iowa.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know if Okoboji has safe ice right now.
Some spots.
Okay,
No,
but
the
the
IGLs
bays.
Yeah,
right?
the
Like,
bays.
That is where all your pressure is going to be. Like that is where all that pressure is going to be. And there's one lake out about an hour of Des Moines that I won't say that I know's got a little bit of people on it. I won't say anything.
Okay, speaking of driving to go ice fishing, do you have any trips planned up this ice season?
Always. Yep. So every year I do at least a couple. Last year my son and I went up to Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and Hawarden, which, if any of you are familiar with Tom Boley and his YouTube channel, those are areas that he fishes.
I just started watching his stuff because I've been researching boats and he catches a lot of walleyes.
Oh, yeah, good stuff. Tom knows what he's doing. But we went and fished those areas. A lot of fun. We do a father-son trip every winter. This year we're going up to Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. If you're looking for some great panfish areas, Detroit Lakes and Otter Tail County are both well known for big panfish. And once again, why do I know this information? Survey data, right? Not because Otter Tail County is like a super touristy place, because when you think of Minnesota lakes, you don't think Otter Tail County. You think Mille Lacs, you think Lake of the Woods, you think Lake Winnie, you think of Leech Lake, you think of all those big Upper Red Lake, those big acreage water, plants that have walleye. You don't think about all these little panfish spots. But we're going up there and fishing for 3 or 4 days, looking for some big gillies and crappies, and just hitting up lakes that other people don't hit. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'll be hitting Lake of the Woods in mid-January. We go up to the northwest angle and fish that. We did that last year, so we'll be doing that again. A lot of fun. We drove 2 hours across the ice road.
Damn.
Where they plow that ice road, and you're just driving on the ice for about 2 hours. Pretty crazy, weird experience.
That's crazy.
It is. It is a weird experience. Last year, coming back, actually the ice cracked, and they had to build a wooden bridge to get people across the crack. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, but it is a fun experience. And have either of you guys ever caught an eel pout?
No, I want to catch one.
Okay,
I want to catch one.
That's a cool experience. We did that up on the Lake of the Woods a couple years back. I'm just all about trying different places and different destinations just to have more experiences. We talked briefly about doing the striper fishing in Cape Cod this summer. I'm really excited about that because I've never caught a true striper. So I'm looking forward to that experience.
I haven't landed a true striper.
Yeah.
Let's just not talk about that.
Yeah. If I was going to give one recommendation, though, for people that might want to do a destination trip, I guess two. Okay, I'm going to give two. Lake Erie, if you're big into walleye, because everybody's big into walleye, we've talked about that. Lake Erie is a whole nother level of walleye fishing, and if you don't catch a walleye at Lake Erie, stop fishing. Just stop. Just retire.
Really?
You're done.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we were out there last time, we had a 4-man limit in 90 minutes, so we're talking 24 fish.
Jeez.
Every single fish was 20 inches or better.
Wow.
I mean, just a whole different game.
Okay.
Second thing I would say, do some inshore fishing. So, like on a coast, deep sea fishing is great too, don't get me wrong, but you don't have to drive 2 hours in a boat to go catch tuna. You can stay inshore and catch redfish. If you've never caught redfish,
yeah, that's a fish I want to catch.
it is a ton of fun. I highly recommend doing something like that. It doesn't cost a ton of money. You can go out there and throw jigs and plastics and catch them. You can catch them on top water, just in canals and stuff.
You do it in a kayak?
You can, yeah. I mean, it's a blast. And redfish, great eating, a ton of fight. I mean, it's kind of like the saltwater wiper. I mean, they're a blast. So that would be another fish I would recommend people to go check out.
Are you taking any trips at all for ice this year?
Besides
the normal trips?
Like, well, when we're talking about like trips, for me, if I'm going to take a trip, I want to go catch fish that we normally wouldn't catch here.
Yeah.
Like for me, going somewhere to catch walleyes, I feel like I catch enough walleyes to satiate that appetite.
Sure.
Like for me, going to Lake Erie, catch a bunch of walleyes. Would I be against it? No. But it's not something I set out to do.
Like you're I don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's not something I set out to do, but I do have one trip I'm gonna plan. I keep talking about it, and I know Scott's gonna hold it up to like.
And he should.
Yeah.
You better hold you. You should.
He's
man.
gonna hold it against me because I keep talking about it. But I'm gonna go up to Sturgeon Bay and try to catch some whitefish
Okay, nice.
in like 100 feet of
yeah,
water.
yeah.
So
There you go. Did you listen to our
yes.
podcast?
he does. Scott listens to our podcast.
You
Yeah,
guys
shout
just
out
gave
to
me
you,
another
Scott.
thing that I'm telling you, you got to go try. Go out to Milwaukee or one of the Great Lake areas and catch steelhead
Steelhead,
Oh,
okay.
dude,
or salmon. I mean, it's
I would
another.
love to do that too.
Yeah, it's another experience. Whether you're ice fishing in the bays
Mm-hmm.
for them, or you're on the river wading with like spawn sacks, it's just a really cool, unique experience that we don't have around here. It's just really cool.
You know, after, because I had the podcast for this week, and I was thinking, I was listening, I was like, I'm going to Colorado at the end of the month here. And I was like, you know what? I want to catch a new species.
Arctic char. There's some Arctic char.
I'm gonna ask my brother-in-laws, like, all right, you know, we go to the normal spots where we ice fish, whatever the case, or, you know, we're not gonna catch anything that we catch here, but maybe I should just take me to a spot that we can catch a brand new species.
Have you ever caught a laker, like a lake trout?
Yeah, I caught lake
Have you?
trouts.
Okay.
But nothing huge.
Nothing
yet.
huge.
Yeah.
And the spots that we can go that we can catch a huge, it's fishing.
Yeah.
Most likely you're not going to catch
Sure.
the monster.
Yep, yep.
But if you do, there's a chance.
Sure.
But I'd rather go. I think I'm going to ask them if they want to take me ice fishing, if they can. I want to catch a brand new species that I've never caught, and I don't know yet. I'm still kind of looking at the species, like what they ice fish that I haven't caught yet. I'm gonna put that request.
Off the
in.
top of your head, what is one species you'd like to catch right now that you have not caught?
Not caught?
Yeah.
I don't think they have it there.
No. What is one species you have not caught that you'd like to catch?
It would have been a burbot. I haven't
Yep.
caught a burbot. I
Yep.
would like to catch a burbot through the ice, but I don't think Colorado has burbots there.
Uh,
Or do they? I don't
Mostly
know.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
like North Central,
North
North
Central.
America.
Yeah.
How about you, Kit? One fish right now that you have not caught that you'd like to catch,
Do the ice or just?
just in general.
I caught a striper already. That was the high. That was
Yeah.
super high on my
Yep,
list.
got that checked off.
I caught a lake trout before. I would really like to catch a big lake trout, but one that I'd never caught before off the top of my head right now. Can I do it like freshwater or in
Whatever.
doesn't
Either
matter.
one. Just
Okay, I
one.
think freshwater. I think it'd be a burbot.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, same with me.
Mine off the top of my head would be a tiger trout. So I've never caught a tiger. I haven't caught a laker either, believe it or not. But tiger trout, just because their markings are so unique, that'd be a really cool fish.
I
And,
don't think I've ever caught a tiger trout either.
I mean, they're so unique.
Well, they're a
looking.
hybrid too, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
Yep.
they're a hybrid.
Yeah.
Yep. Just the markings themselves, I think, would be really cool.
They look
And
cool, but they're.
It's one of those things like there is. I mean, I could tell you 20, 30 fish that I want to catch before it's all said and done. But that's one just since we were talking trout and stuff. That off the top of my head, I'm like, man, that'd be a cool catch.
I do want to put this out there though. Next year, I don't know. I don't think if Nick Morris listens to our podcast, I'm going out there next year,
Where
like
Hawaii.
2023.
2023.
catch some dolphin fish, some
Ahi
mahi-mahi.
ahi, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go catch me some
mahi
mahi
mahi.
mahi.
Yeah.
Man. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
catch me. I am. I mean, I'm gonna hit him up. I'm gonna
Yeah.
let him know. I don't know you listen to this, Nick, but I'm coming out next year. I'm about 99.99999% sure I'm making it.
Okay.
That's
so,
gonna be.
So one more question I got for you guys: bucket list places to fish. What is like number one on the top of your list right now that you want to go hit?
Hawaii
Yeah.
instantly.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. And that's why I'm beyond super excited to go. I have family there, and
Yeah.
then we have a, I guess you can say a mini family reunion that's going to happen next year,
Okay.
and a wedding and stuff.
That would be cool.
What would you say?
Do you watch Robert Field?
Huh?
Oh, he's living in a trailer traveling the country, but
Okay.
he part-time guides in Panama.
Okay.
I think that would be because he's catching like rooster fish,
Yeah.
all sorts of big ass ocean fish, and they're all doing it in kayaks.
Yeah.
That is something I would love to
Pretty
do.
crazy.
I mean, you gave me another another place because you said that. I mean, I will tell you, like when I watch Spencer Bauer's videos down in the Amazon, that would be an experience unlike any other. To be able to do that and to have the chance at like an arapaima or a vampire fish or any of those things, like that would be one. But like that is so kind of like out of my stratosphere of thinking about even going. The place that we talked about earlier that I would really love to hit is Cascade. I mean, the chance to go out to Cascade and hook into a 15-inch perch and pull that thing topside and just have that football of gold in your hands, like that is it's so crazy to me. That's something I'd love.
My brother-in-laws keep talking about this shit. They want to go to Cascade.
Yeah.
We might as well, maybe in the 2-3 years, maybe we can set something up. Like you guys,
20 hours, man. It's 20 hours from this.
I would just fly.
No,
Would you?
actually,
fly.
I think we fly to Denver.
Okay.
And then
It's
I'm wondering
it's
how.
still like 13 hours.
Is it
for
really?
them or
Okay,
something.
I wasn't sure. So then I guess we just fly there.
Yeah.
We can set it up like 2 or 3 years. Like,
Yeah.
let's make a trip, guys. Like, make a trip.
I
Like,
mean,
because people, this is
The
a
worst thing in the world, though, could you like Kit talked about earlier? You make this mecca of a trip. You go out there, and the biggest perch you catch is like at 10, 11 inches. Like, there's nothing worse than like building up this experience, and then you go out there, and the perch you catch is no bigger than the perch you caught in their backyard.
I'm assuming if we go out there, we are hiring a guide. As much money or time we're going to spend out there, I think we should definitely hire the top-notch guide. That would be my suggestion if we go out there.
Okay, so realistically, let's say you're going to plan a trip this winter. Realistically, what's a new species you think you could hit this winter? It doesn't have to be like a bucket list fish.
Yeah.
As long as it's something new.
Yeah.
Or maybe it could be a bucket list fish. You just haven't pulled the trigger on
I'm
it
gonna
yet.
give you two options. Both would be amazing experiences. First one would be a bowfin or a dogfish, depending on what you call it.
Mm-hmm.
I fished some waters that have them. I've never hooked one and landed one. Open water or through the ice, but through the ice would be really cool. Second would be a sturgeon. So up there in Lake of the Woods, they do land some sturgeon from the time to time. I couldn't even tell you what that would be like to hook into a sturgeon and try to pull that through an ice hole. Like, I mean, those fish are 5-6 foot long. It's like ridiculous. Like,
That would be cool.
You better have like an 10-inch auger.
it's ridiculous.
You're going to need a 10-inch auger.
So, I mean, I'm not going out of my way to do that, but it would be really cool. I mean, I did catch the burbot or the eel pout a couple years ago, and that was a really cool experience. I've never seen anything like that, and then you have it in your hand, you're like, what the heck is this thing? You know?
Yeah,
and
I want to catch one of those.
can
so
I
bad.
eat this? And then you're like, and they are, people have talked about them being poor man lobster.
Yeah.
That is legitimate.
Real?
That is
Okay.
legitimate. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Pretty good,
So,
huh?
yep.
Well, I might just have to sell it to the wife. Hey, you want poor man's lobster
There you go.
for dinner?
I think
Go up.
one of the best places to have a chance at a burbot is Leech Lake, from my understanding.
Oh, okay.
So they're the one that has I think they have the Burbot Festival on Leech Lake. So
Oh, I thought they got rid of that. Or
I don't think so. I think there's still a festival of some sort.
well, there was like eel. Maybe it was like the eel pout
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
festival, and then they got rid of it because
Really?
people were just absolute slobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. What about you, Gores? Realistically, a new species that you could catch this winter.
If
Like,
I really...
it doesn't have to be some. Yeah, not
Nothing
we're not
exotic.
Talking, yeah,
Yeah.
nothing exotic.
It would be
like,
the
realistically, a
burbot.
Yeah.
If I can convince my co-host to, like, you know what, let's do a weekend trip, and if I can tell the boss lady, like, all right, watch the kiddos for a weekend.
Yeah.
See,
If
I
you
think
wanna
that'd be more convincing than the co-host.
Yeah.
If you,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
The boss lady.
Yeah, I gotta convince her because I'd be like, you know what?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't take that much to convince me.
Right.
Yeah,
No.
convince the boss.
Hey, you want to go
lady.
fishing for a
But-
weekend? Oh, yeah, that's what
Want to
it
go
is.
catch this fish that you never caught before that you really want to catch?
Yeah, okay.
But But I have to tell her like, okay, I gotta bring this poor man's lobster home. So I think if we can sell that to her, that would be the one for honestly, because we've been telling this for like 2-3 years now.
Perfect.
I have been, at least on our podcast, it's been a fish I've been wanting to catch.
Yeah. Would you say the same thing?
I want to say it, but at the same time, I want to catch a striper through the ice.
That would be cool.
And that's a realistic option this year?
There's a small window that you can catch striper through the ice. Like, and without flying to the East Coast.
Sure.
Like Northeast Coast.
Yeah. Huh.
There's a small window, not terribly far, not super close, but not terribly far.
Okay.
Well, obviously it can't be terribly far because then there won't be any ice.
Yeah.
All right.
That'd be crazy.
If that happens, you let me know. I'm down, dude.
It'd be like, okay, the lake's frozen. We gotta go this weekend because next week or the week after,
done.
Yeah.
There's no more ice.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we can try it this year. We'll see if we can make that happen. That's
That'd
cool,
be pretty
man.
Cool.
It would be pretty cool to catch a striper through the ice.
Pretty cool. I will tell you, when I caught that burbot, though, it was a little bit of mixed emotions. It was a big old mark on the screen and about 26 foot of water right off the bottom, and I'm using a size 7 ripping wrap. So if you're somebody that uses a ripping wrap and you're familiar with the sizes, a size 7, I mean, that bad boy is like
big.
It's like a solid 3 inches, and it's a golden black, and I'm just ripping that bad boy on my socky rod, and all of a sudden this thing thumps it, and I'm like, this is that trophy walleye.
That
like,
30-incher.
He thought it was
this
like,
is
oh.
it. And so when you get it topside, you're like, what the hell is that? That's not a 30-inch walleye. But it goes from like a brief moment of kind of disappointment to like, this is really cool. I've never caught, and it was a nice burbot. It was about 6 pounds. Wow. I was like, this is crazy. I've never caught one of these things.
That's
and
cool.
It's half eel, half fish looking thing. Like, I don't know if I can lip this thing. Like, does this thing have teeth? What can I eat it? How do I clean it? I mean, it was a cool experience.
It's a freshwater cod, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I could sell it to the family because the kids, they love sushi.
He's
the girls.
He's convincing himself at this point.
Because the girls love eel, like cooked eel. So I can be like, you know what?
Unagi is like one of my favorites.
Hello. So I can be like, do you want fresh, girls?
And he doesn't catch a single one on the trip. I got you some whitefish.
We worry about that later.
I got you some tuabi.
Dude, it's been fun, dude. Derek, you got anything else for Derek guy? Before we finish the beers?
All right, so if our audience wants to reach out to you, where can they do that?
Yeah, so 515 Fishing Guides. If you're looking specifically for a guide trip, you can go. We have a page on Facebook for that. 515fishing.com. Have a website that's got all kinds of stuff on there. Videos, guide trips, pictures, blogs. I run a blog on there.
We didn't even talk about
We didn't
blogs.
talk about blogs, yeah. I would say maybe once a month I roll out a blog with just some general information. The most recent one was about ice safety. So yeah, I mean, there's just all kinds of different things on there. Also, if you're just wanting to get connected with a fishing group, 515 Fishing on Facebook has quite a variety of stuff between the blogs, the seminars, and the thing with the seminars, I keep those up all year round on our featured posts. So you can go in there and you can watch one that was back from March last year. Charlie Ridgway, is somebody that is a diehard muskie fisherman. Mm-hmm. We were fortunate enough to have him speak on one of our seminars about muskie fishing, which I just don't know much about at all.
Ridgway Customs.
Yeah, dang right, man. And it's just really cool to have those opportunities to have guests on like that to talk about their life as anglers and the kind of fishing that they do. And that's something I feel like that sets our group apart, because I don't know too many other groups that have those kind of resources for people that are accessible right then and there. So check out 515 Fishing on Facebook.
Pretty cool, man. No, this it's been fun, man. We got to have you back on, because now we got to talk about the blogs next time we get you back on.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just one of those things. So I just want our listeners to know you don't have to be from Iowa to check out 515 Fishing, guys.
No.
We have a lot of people there that are from all over,
For sure.
all over the states and everything. And then, like you were just saying, you're gonna get a massive amount of information about different species and everything. So that's pretty cool. Shout out to you, man. You know, grinding and everything. That's pretty cool that you got your guide service and everything up and rolling. Got the group, everything. For you to even spend some time to come hang out with two idiots here and drink some beer, talk some fishing. So
I appreciate you guys having me on. It's always fun.
One idiot.
wow, here we go.
No, I mean I just love talking fishing, you know. So I
Yeah.
can talk fishing with anybody, and it's good to be able to just have the opportunity to be on with you guys and talk fishing. And we got a lot of cool local guys and groups and companies to celebrate. You know, we saw Jake earlier on here, and the Bucket Boys. If you guys don't follow them, they're really good stuff. You know, they put up a lot of good content all the time. Give Jake and his team a shout out. I really like watching their stuff. I like watching, you know, Kit and Grandy. Both you guys do a fantastic job. So it's just it's fun to have the opportunity to, you know, shout out other local companies and support each other. You know, I would say one thing I love about Iowa fishing, especially central Iowa. I can't speak for the whole state, but I do feel like there is that camaraderie and that support of one another. I don't feel like there is that cutthroat or trying to be better than one another. It's that supporting one another and lift each other up. You know, so that's something I do appreciate about our local scene.
For sure, badass. And then, like, you know, Fishing Kit myself, we wholeheartedly definitely supports local businesses and everything. And then, like Kit said, I think previously, a couple episodes ago, I was listening to one of our old episodes. Like, we only grow as much as the next gentleman.
Yeah,
grows.
we all grow together.
We grow
Yeah.
together.
We
So
grow together.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one last thing I would say is I think no matter what, when you're out fishing, you can learn something from every other single angler that's out there, regardless of their experience level. I don't care if it's a 10-year-old fishing or somebody that's 85 and they've done it their whole life. You can learn something from every single person out there. Don't be afraid to be different and try different things, because that is the new cutting edge. Every year we see that new technique, that new bait, that new hot thing.
Yep.
That only happens because people are trying different things.
For sure.
So don't be afraid to go against the grain and to let your ego, put your ego aside and look at that person 10 feet from you catching fish and just watch. Like that is okay to say, what the heck is Kit doing over there, man? Like, I ain't catching nothing on this kayak. What is Kit doing? He's got a what with what on it? But don't get upset about that. Like take that to heart and be like, okay, during springtime when I do this, that works.
For sure.
And add that to your layer of resources, you know?
Yeah. Everybody listen to this part. Love it. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget, like you guys said, we'll put all the links for 515 Fishing, 515 Guide Services. We'll put everything in the show notes. Don't forget, check out Fishing Kit's YouTube channel. Get his ass up to 3,000. We're still on the way up there. I think he got a pretty good bump in the last couple of weeks. Yeah? No? Yeah? No?
I'm on pace to where I'm normally at.
There you go.
Sure, as long as it's growth.
There you go. There's growth.
Growth is always good.
And then don't forget, he's already got ice fishing videos. So if you guys are into ice fishing, he's
already fresh.
He's ready fresh. He just released one recently, especially if you're looking to hybrid striped bass or wipers. He just released a really good video in regards to how to target him through the ice. So make sure you guys check out Fishing Kit's YouTube channel. Don't forget, check out My Pot Fishing. I'll have a video out tomorrow. It's open water because it was one of my last open waters fishing. I didn't think I was going to catch anything, and go figure. I ran into Butters.
Oh, yeah.
Ran into Butters on tomorrow's video. So I have that one going out. So make sure you guys go check out that video there. Make sure you guys leave a review. Helps us tremendously on the podcast, whether Spotify, iTunes. I believe it helps. Or share the videos on YouTube.
Yeah, share.
Yeah. Let people know about the greatest underground fishing podcast. Just
Go, baby.
there you guys go. But like Fishing Kit said, we don't want to be underground for too long. Get us up to the point where we're not underground no more, right?
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
But Other than that, man, everybody, we appreciate you guys listening this far. Till next time.
All right. See ya.